Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of the Splash HD weekend event. Today we have Crash Bandicoot 1 N.Sane Trilogy. We have a category called All Gems. As the name entails, we have to collect every single gem in the game. We have two races today, combined time. It'll be a roughly 2.5 hour event. Runners today, we have Raymandicoot and CookieNaval, two really good runners, world record holder and second place, going up against each other today, which should be extremely entertaining. And with me on the commentary, I have Merkaz and McCrody. I'll introduce Merkaz if you want to go first.
Yeah, I'm Merkaz. I'm one of the 3 HD mods of Crash, and I run all of these games to a mid to high level degree.
I'm McCrody. I play video games. I commentated the last race as well. And I'm also a moderator for HD games there, so that's something.
How do you feel the runners will do today? Guys, who do you have your bets in for?
I have my bets in for Jamie, or Raymandicoot, because Cookie has been playing ACG lately. So
I didn't really see Cookie doing any DRS on stream. I probably practiced some offline, and Raymandicoot got even a nice PB a few days ago, so he's ready for sure. So I think it might be Raymandicoot who wins this time, but we'll see.
I was going to say the same thing. I know Raymandicoot posted his PB in the Discord, while Cookie, yeah, as you said, Merkaz has been just grinding Crash 4 on stream. He did say he was doing offline practice, and I asked him on stream how he was feeling. He said he did some level practice, but nothing too crazy. But we'll see how he does. You know, maybe he's more comfortable than we think. So
it is Cookie, and he is like a consistency beast. So it might very well turn out differently from what we believe, even with close to zero practice.
No, all gems, all clear gems, basically the same thing, you know.
Exactly, same category.
Exactly, it's identical, I swear. Alright, if you guys can basically explain what to expect for the race, I'll give the runners the cue and we can start.
Yeah, what you can expect is in the title. We're getting all the gems. There's some cool skips to get some of the gems in their first visits instead of like having to revisit them. We will go through it as the run progresses, but other than that, it's just as fast as possible collecting all the boxes. This is that's the category. It's pure and straight to the point, basically.
Yeah, the runners will focus mostly on their movement and collecting the boxes as fast as they can, or going through some of the levels as fast as they can, because you can't get every gem on the first visit everywhere. So yeah.
The runners seem to be busy. I think Cookie's going through his Steam notifications super quick. I'm curious to ask the kind of velocity of the category. Is this category somewhat of a consistent one? Normally when you're on pace you stay on it, or are there some things that can get thrown in that kind of trip runners up?
It is like, it has a very boring early game, a very exciting mid game, and then a pretty boring end game again, like in terms of like, not boring overall, but like how you explain it. Like I would say, once you get into the end game, it's pretty easy, except for like 1 or 2 levels that are very hard, but the mid game is what really excels as hard, I would say. In the beginning of the game, you basically don't collect any gems at all. So, like, there's only a few gems that you can collect on the first visit, so you do them in the end, so both the beginning and end of the run ends on the same levels, basically.
So there isn't like many run killing levels. In general, at high level, it's like you can easily lose runs, but it's obvious for every game. But the biggest problem is colored gems, though. If you die there,
yeah, if you die in a color gem level, you have to re-enter because you won't get the gem done. It's like the original Crash one, basically. So it looks like they're starting.
An optimal cutscene skipping from both of them.
So they're gonna be collecting the gem in this first level, and Sanity Beach. What can make or break this level in terms of like a good time in this level, because it's such a simple level, is the climb that they're both closing in on right now. That climb is basically the entire like time save people have, and you will see them cut corners, like not cut corners, but like stay to one side as the camera pans. Like their movement will try to utilize that in different levels, so that you kind of follow the camera around. It's faster that way. They have to backtrack a bit here to get those remaining boxes, and that should be it.
You can see like minimal, except for the fail Raymandicoot got here with getting the last box. There are some minimal differences between their movement that makes it so Cookie was about 1 second faster until the last crate in Insanity Beach, basically. Yeah, this is the first level where we can get the gem. You need the green gem for this level to get all the boxes. There is no fee for it, unfortunately.
Also, I guess we can talk about like mask form. So in Crash 2 and 3, a lot of the routing is based around your mask form. In Crash 1, you don't really have those routing choices, except for a few levels. Mostly in the late game where you can choose your levels, they will be like switching around a bit just to get mask form some places. But what's important to note with that is that some of these masks that they have are really important to keep. Like in the last level for this first mask they had, and then they need to keep 2 masks out of this level to get a really good mask in the Great Gate, where also a skip happens, and that skip can make or break the run already. Like it's a minute if you don't get it, and it's pretty big. People usually go like, oh, it's a no reset run after Great Gate if they do no resets, because it's so early, but it is also quite easy to mess up. They will basically jump around the portal, is what they're gonna try to do.
You can stand on the edge of the portal and jump over the portal to the other edge. Here's another triple mask, as Moore has said. While in the Crash 3, masks are routed around mostly because of things like hang rails and cycles in some levels. In this game, the masks speed you up, so you want as many as you can get.
Yeah, mask form is way more important in Crash 1 than it is in the others. Depending, obviously, but as Cody said, like it either, for us, it depends on cycles or stuff like that. In Crash 1, it simply just gives you a movement speed, which obviously is a good thing that everyone wants. So they're gonna do the bonus here, like even though they don't do the skip, they're preparing to get the skip. And if they don't get it, that is unfortunate. Like you could the skip wouldn't lose as much time if you opted not to do it, but you always have to go for it. Let's see if Jamie gets it. And he does. Okay, that's great. So hopefully Cookie gets it as well, but now 1 skip is done. Like, if Jamie dies here, that's really bad, but
He gets it as well.
N.Sane. Double skip done in the race. That's what we like to see. So that skip allows you to basically like not revisit this level later on, which is what you are supposed to do. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to get a gem. I don't remember exactly which gem. Cody might remember, but you're supposed to stand on that and you get carried over the portal.
Wasn't really focusing there. I was passing the link in the event channel. Yeah, game is done with the level. Cookie is about to finish it as well.
I guess I have a general question for the run. Is RTA also influenced by computer performance? Because I know Spyro has a similar thing where the beefier your PC, the faster the game's going to run RTA. Is
The
Crash
loads
kind of
are
based on
dependent on
processor.
CPU.
Yeah, processor only basically, and I know Jamie has a pretty good one. It looks like Cookie has a pretty good one too. Like they're not too far apart, but yeah, processor is basically everything that decides loads in this game. It's really weird. Like you can have, if you have a bad processor and the rest of your PC is like godlike, and then someone has a super garbage PC and then they have a godlike processor, that bad PC with a good processor will have way better loads.
That's
so
crazy. Wow.
we've it doesn't even matter if you have it on an SSD. It literally does not change loads whatsoever.
Yeah.
Man, that's really
So,
interesting. Yeah.
So it's not the same as Spyro in that regard, because like I have a decent processor, but it's an i5. But it's like when I bought it, it was the highest end i5 I could get, because like I don't need any i7 things. So my loads are on the middle level in terms of that. But my loads in Spyro, for example, are really good. You know, so
Right. Yeah.
it's a bit different than how it's done in Spyro, but it is mostly the same.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, RTA is definitely affected, and it can also vary from time to time. I have days where my RTA, like if I did an 90% run, my RTA is 50 minutes, and then I have a day where my RTA is 54 minutes. You know, like it's weird. The game's weird.
We don't know what Iron Galaxy did when porting this game, and I don't want to know what they did at this point.
So here is another level where they will not get the gem because they cannot get it yet. So they skip the bonuses. We will be seeing most of these levels again in the end game. This is like, I think everybody basically universally agrees that all gems is a really good and underrated category. Like I think everyone praises it, but it's not played as much as the praise. And I think that's mostly because it has a really, really like any percent-ish beginning for like the first 15 minutes or 10, 12 minutes, which isn't the most fun part. But I think collecting gems in C1 has a very unique feeling to it, and I think all gems is a great category. I'm not a big Crash 1 guy because I'm the tech person. Like I love movement tech and stuff, you know. And I enjoyed all gems a lot when I ran it for a little bit. I think it's a really fun and like straightforward but very difficult category. I have a lot of respect for runners that are good at this category.
The first island has only 3 gems on the first visit, 2 of which are basically auto-scrollers, considering it's the boulder level where you run away from the boulder, where it breaks all the crates basically for you, so it's basically any present, but you have to break some boxes. And then there is Hogwild, which is a little later, which is just break all the boxes while you're riding a hog, which is an auto-scroller.
Yeah, Island 1 is not the most interesting. It's basically like an 90%, which is not... It gets... yeah, exactly. I don't know how to explain it, really.
You can see some nice movement on the ledges. Just you have, when you have a triple mask, you have to minimize the time you are in air just to get the speed from the mask. So the runners use the ledges on the sides to maximize the triple mask speed, like here.
No, you see, Jamie, or I'm gonna just say Raymandicoot is Jamie. That's what everyone calls him in the community, and I'm having a real hard time in renaming him Raymandicoot for this race. Like, I will say Jamie many times. I will try to keep it away, but it's too embedded in my brain, and my brain is too small to change it on the fly.
Now, both runners are in Hogwild. They just jump a lot, collect the bosses, get the gem, and then leave the level. There's not much to it, really.
This is 1 out of 2 levels like this that you will see during this run. The other one being, I can't even remember the level, the name.
Whole hog.
Whole hog. Yeah, that's right. I'm so bad at names. As I said, small brain.
Yeah, there are like 3 levels of the hog in their name in the trilogy, and one isn't even in this game. So I understand.
Oh yeah, true. We have one in C3 too. I forgot that too.
Yeah, now Bandicoot will be entering Canadian Fortress. Another any present pass, the last level on Island 1 as well.
This is a very notorious level. It's known for being very difficult, both casually and speedrun-wise. It just has a lot going on. Like, this should not be. If you were talking in terms of difficulty, this is not an Island 1 level. This is, in terms of difficulty, an Island 3 level, I would say, personally.
Maybe like End of Island 2, but also some Island 3 levels are kinda easier than this.
Yeah, I get like slippery climb, like Jaws vibes, kinda.
Yeah, there are some nice damage abuse to keep waiting on the cycle. Yeah, also one thing to point out is that to access the bonus in this game, you need to collect the 3 tokens of a character. There are 3 kinds of bonuses. We've seen only Tona so far in terms of actually entering the bonus, but we also seen Brio tokens at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
And there is also the Cortex bonus, and there are only 2 Cortex bonuses in this game.
The Cortex bonuses also unlocks a key that opens up another level if you get them. So that's what's different about the Cortex bonus.
Yeah, in the remaster, the Brio and Tona bonus don't really differ from each other. In original, Tona bonus were used for the saving the game, and Brio bonuses were just to get more lives. Yeah. Jamie's done with a Highland 1, and so is CookieNaval.
So now we're entering a level where we can actually collect boxes again. This is new, right?
Yeah, you don't get the gem in Island 2 from 2 levels that we visit initially on Island 2. And we can finally get some gems. As is in the name, all gems. All 27 of them out of 26.
That's some crash stuff right there. I'm going over the count.
The reason for that is that the 1 month into the release of the game, back on the PS4, there were only 26 gems, but they added Stormy as a DLC. And then it added another gem, so it's 27 out of 26 basically, for this reason.
It's funny that they didn't change that. Like, didn't change it to say 27 out of 27. They just like added a gem, but didn't change the counter, which I think is kind of funny.
The fun fact about it, actually, the DLC was first free, then you had to pay for it, and then they made it free again. So
I feel really bad for the people who paid. Like, it's a limited time payment.
Cookie had an unfortunate death there. Has to go there again. Which loses some time for him. But it's not a major mistake and doesn't exactly dictate on how the rest of the race will go.
Not at all.
Raymandicoot is about to enter the first color gem level, and that's as we said at the beginning. If you die after the check... Oh wait, it's Reaper.
Yeah, there's a boss first.
No, you get the color gems in bosses now.
So first, he's gotta beat Ripperoo, which is basically an auto-scroller. Like, what you can do to speed it up is just like press on the TNTs as soon as they can be to basically damage Ripperoo in the best possible way. I've seen a lot of, especially new runners to this category, or not this category, but this game in general. Just if they mess up Ripperoo, it's like a 2-minute time loss because they don't know how the TNT works, and it's great. I've done it myself. Ripperoo is brutal.
When you play OG for a while and then you play this game, the TNT timings are very off comparing to that. I remember when I played the game casually when it came out. It was like, they don't explode that slowly in OG, what the hell?
Yeah, it goes.
Yeah.
It's basically every time I also play the OG games, which is very rarely. I'd like the timings throw me off from knowing.
Fortunate timing for Cookie. They're struggling a little to finish off Reaper Brooder. Yeah, Raymandicoot is now in the Lost City, as I said earlier. This is the first color gem, green gem. And if you die after a checkpoint, you have to restart the level. You have to do deathless basically to get the gem.
If you do remember a few months ago when we first, when the Crash part got introduced to this channel, we did a Crash 1 any% race as well, like as part of a relay. And this level is done in any% as well. So like you'd still get the gem in any% because it skips a level later on. But now we obviously need the gem because we need the gem. So it's a bit different in that regard, but it also is you're doing this level the exact same way.
Yeah, nice damage abuse there to skip one cycle. He's going to enter Brio bonus now. Which, as I said, because of how it was in OG, the Brio bonuses have a lot of lives in them. Yeah, Cookie is about to start the climbing section in Lost City.
So what I'm going to say is that this bonus that Raymandicoot is entering really soon takes advantage of a really cool thing in this game, I think, and that is the fact that if you jump and spin on boxes that are on top of other boxes, you don't fall through them. So you're probably gonna see how that's applied. It's kind of hard to explain. Back on PS4, like, or on 30 FPS, there's actually a spin jumping you could do. That is not really a thing anymore. It's like basically frame perfect, so people don't do it.
It still works if you set your FPS to 30, but
yeah,
it's not worth it to do it for like few seconds of the bonus.
Yeah, so Jamie did it pretty well. Raymandicoot did it pretty well there. That is basically also how I do that bonus, so. There are faster ways to do it, but it also gets more difficult the more speed you implement into that bonus.
So you could have noticed that that exclamation mark box breaks the boxes on the sides. Why? We don't know. It was like that in OG as well.
I've never even thought about that.
They probably just made it so we don't have to go there, but why? We don't know. He's about to finish the bonus now. Yeah, Bandicoot is going through temple ruins now. Kinda quickly. There's some stuff to look out in this level though. There are some secrets.
I feel like Crash 1 has these like kinda clever secrets, like where you're like, oh yeah, and when you find it, and then Crash 2 they get a little bit more obscure, and then Crash 3 at that point they're just so obscure you can't even like understand how you found them out as a kid.
Yeah, you can see like there are Loompas leading you somewhere, so like, am I going to die when I go left? And there's an invisible bridge there, and it's like, wow, nice. For reference, in Crash 3, to enter Aegipus Rex, you need to die to a second Predator Actor in the yellow gem path, and it's like, there's no indication of why. So like, no. That's very obscure.
And then for entering Hot Cocoa, you need to crash into a sign, which I guess has the implication of a pigeon like running into the sign.
And you could say that the fact that the sign is like shows an alien is just like, oh, that's suspicious. But yeah,
it's still obscure. It's still obscure.
I mean, I believe it was made that way just to sell all the game guides back in the day when there was no internet.
I remember game guides. Is anyone old enough to remember game guides? Like looking at the game, okay, this is not Crash related, so I'm gonna quickly just go into it. I remember specifically Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire reading the like codes for the Reggies, like in the game guide. That's what I remember the most about game guides. But yeah, now we're in Road to Nowhere. And here you cannot get the gem. Correct? Am I mixing up the levels? Or
You can get the gem, but Cookie apparently missed a box in the temple ruins and has to do it all over again.
Oh no. That is an unfortunate box miss.
So they'll put him back behind a little. It's a few minutes lost, unfortunately. Yeah, Raymandicoot is done with Road to Nowhere though. You can get the gem on the first visit as more cassette, and you can get the gem on Boulder Dash either you need the purple gem for that one. So obviously he'll try to go as fast as he can, but the boulder breaks most boxes anyway. And you do want to break some of the boxes on the way, because at the end of each level, if you don't get the gem, all missing boxes fall down on you. And if you get more boxes, the less boxes will fall on you there. So obviously you want to get the box. You don't want to go out of your way to get the boxes, but if they are on your way, then just break them easily.
These levels.
Cookie missed a crate again. Fortunately, I think the triple mask is not breaking didn't break one of the boxes above him.
Is that what's happening?
I think so.
Oh, he's re-entering again. Oh, this is very unfortunate. That is Crash games. You know, Cookie can go through Crash 4 without missing a single box, but no, Crash 1. Crash 1 is more difficult, confirmed.
Yeah. Sure.
Cookie is an insane gamer, though, so I'm sure he can catch back up. He has, remember, CookieNaval is built different, so he can make sure.
He just needs to get back into the groove of things, you know.
Exactly.
Get into it. Watch him get world record in the second race. I believe that Cookie needs a box.
We
Twice,
talked about derusting and stuff earlier, and I'm pretty sure that's just what's happening. This is just a derust run. It's just preparation for the men's run that is coming soon.
Unfortunately, Jamie died earlier level, so he had to start the level again, basically.
Did you say fortunately?
Unfortunately,
Okay.
It might have just sounded like that. Sometimes I just like speak more quiet, so that can happen.
I was like, oh, fortunately, Cookie can catch back up. Okay.
Fortunately, Jamie is failing. Commentator bias.
Commentator bias? Yeah, Cody, who do you got?
I believe that right now Murkas is winning.
Okay.
You don't see it on screen, but I'm right now in Murkas' house and I'm watching him play as well. He's in slippery climb at the moment.
I do believe that Groovy is winning.
Oh yeah. Cook is done with the Temple Ruins. Well, first try is the charm, as they say.
Josh is on world record pace offline. Yeah, Josh is winning. Shoutouts to all the fantastic Crash runners in the... I was about to say commentator box, but I meant Twitch chat. You guys are not here. Shoutouts to the amazing Crash runners in the commentator box, by the way.
Shout out to the Race 1 box, my favorite box on screen.
Let's bring all the viewers into the commentator box. That sounds like a great idea. Let's ask if they can do that on the Olympics next time. Let's get all the viewers to commentate. All, like, billion of them.
Game is one of the second last climb in this level. And here he is collecting a Cortex token. There's 3 of them. 6 of them in the whole game. The rarest token.
What do you mean viewers at the Olympics? I was watching the whole thing, man.
Yeah,
I'm a boomer.
you can nicely walk on the walls here. The pushers, I mean. There's some tricky cycles there. But, nicely just go through that gap here, immediately back there, so you can easily correct the last Cortex token and enter his bonus. Yeah, this bonus is not too complicated, you just jump on the TNTs, get to the end of them.
It does give you this. It does give you this like urgency feeling, considering it's like, the TNT counting down constantly.
Yeah. You need to ensure that you stand still and collect the key, because you can miss the key and leave without it, and then you would have to go through the whole level again. It happens to me twice, so I know what I'm talking about. Here's the Tauna bonus, you just activate the TNT and then leave.
So here, Cookie is in the boulder level as well. He's just going for a walk,
Yeah.
strolling through the level.
Yeah, he is finishing it up. The key in Sunset Vista unlocks Whole Hog, which will be done later. Raymandicoot got all the boxes, so he gets the gem, the 8th, and now he is headed to the hardest boss in the speedrun, kinda. If you want to go really fast. I'm not sure if Jamie does the strats here though. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think any.
It's not really implemented into all gems yet, as it's not really necessary for it.
There's a glitch you can do here, basically skipping, like doing 2 damage to him and skipping half. Oh, he is going for it.
Oh.
Interesting. Let's see if he can get it. I did not know he was going for it. Let's see. And he did not get it. That's sad. This is a very difficult skip, and it's also, at best, like, even if you're super good at it, I would say it probably has, like, around the 30% consistency. At most, probably. I might be wrong here, but top runners can correct me, but I think the skip is, like, extremely inconsistent.
Yeah. You can also, in all gems, you can only go for it once, because you need 2 masks for the next level. But in any percent, I think you can go twice, actually.
Yeah, but going for it twice doesn't really help that much.
You only skip 1 phase unless you go that mighty triplicate somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, big respect for going for that. I did not expect him to go for that. I do not think Cookie will go for it. I didn't think any of the runners really went for that in runs, but maybe... I know Jamie has been practicing it, so there was a hope, but I do doubt that Cookie's gonna go for it. It is a very... it loses time when you go for it, like if you don't get it, so it's a risk.
And now we are off to the third island. With heavy machinery, Barry. You can get... On the island 3, you can get all gems except for 1 when going through it. So now we get into some all gems action, actually. We are entering the mid-game.
Triple mask is really good. You see this hidden path under you. Crash 1 has a lot of like cool hidden paths like that.
Crash 1 also has the most platforming Crash game, at least original trilogy.
It's a good fact.
Yeah. Heavy Machinery has one of the more annoying Bria bonuses because of how the bounce mechanics works in this game. We didn't really talk about that. You don't want to bounce on crates too much because it loses you a lot of momentum when you bounce off them, and it also applies to the enemies.
Yeah, it's like bouncing is really bad. It's really bad. And compared to the OG games, like momentum or like changing, like going directionally, like in air, like left to right, is it's like zigzagging. That's what they do in the OG games. That is also really bad in NST, because like going left to right in air only does the opposite, but then give you speed. It just takes your speed basically. So that's what you don't want to do. So if you're used to the OG games, you're probably gonna have a rough time.
You'll have to change your mindset on how to control and basically relearn it. No, now that I'm thinking about it, they should have made bonuses 3D for the 2D levels. That would be something.
That would have been something. This embryo bonus isn't that hard, and it doesn't look that hard, but like with how the bounces work, and it feels like they didn't really change the bonus around how the bounce work. Like, they changed the bounce, but didn't change how it works, so it just feels very bad. And it's easy to die there. We've all done it.
As you can have seen, there is sometimes you can like land on the box despite the fact you are falling on it. So like instead of breaking, you just land on it instead for some reason. He went a little too early and got damaged by lava. Then get squished by a rock to get the hyper jump off. Cortex Power is an interesting level. Usually you can't do it on the first visit, but we are speedrunners. And by we, I mean anyone who found this one. There's a skip there.
Do you know who found the skip? I don't think I was around when this was found, so.
Unfortunately, I don't remember. It's been a long time ago. Yeah, you'll see on James right now. He's going to go for it soon. It basically go out of bounds and then walk on the invisible wall. This out of bounds works on every version except for the Switch version, which was actually ported by our friends Toys for Bob. So they were already good at fixing up out of bounds skips. Although they forgot about Sphinxinator skip, but they might have just not known about it. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, shout out to Bob for patching out our stuff since the beginning of time.
Yeah, with that skip you don't have to do the level twice. Yeah. Toys for Bob really likes to patch their stuff out with just more invisible walls. Just like they team in speedrunning. In the wall for Cortex Power. Did they fix any invisible walls in SRT? I don't remember, but they fixed Rolling Earth, so I'm mad about that still. And in Crash 4 they've made the wall higher in Dragon On. So like, they love their invisible walls.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, a glitch, let me just wall it. that's They're using oh, what is it called? What is that tape called in English? The fucking unbreakable tape. I can't remember.
Duct tape.
Duct tape, yeah, duct tape. That's exactly it. So they basically just that's their duct tape. Invisible walls, that's their duct tape.
Yeah. Raymandicoot is in Generator Room now. It just did the bonus. And it's another color gem level. And yes, I say that he dies, which means he has to restart the level. And go through it again. No, well, I kinda jinxed him. I'm sorry. I'm not.
So in the original, you had to go through every level like it was a color gem level, but in this, they changed it so that it's only the color gems. Because doing it in every level is kind of brutal. Oh, what? Toys for Bob?
Bob really took their inspiration. Bob saw Naughty Dog changing from Crash 1 to Crash 2 and they like, nah, bring it back. Well, there we are.
Now Cookie does have a chance for a comeback. He is still
a level behind.
Yeah.
1.5 level, I'd say. there is a chance. And also, Jamie has a little faster load, so there is that as well. There's some tricky runs there in generator room.
So let's see if Jamie can get through this last part.
Here's a nice corner cut there, jumping straight onto that platform. I'm like anxious at the last part of this level, always.
That corner cut scares me. That corner cut really scares me.
Every colored gem level scares me. Yeah, Jamie's done with the level, he got the orange gem. And
Why am I laughing at this bad joke in chat? It's so bad. Shame on you, Logic. Shame on you.
What do you mean, Logic? It's Prash HD himself. Yeah. Here we are in Toxic Waste. Another colored gem level. We get the blue gem there. Murkas, do you want to tell your favorite fact about blue gems?
Oh! Yeah, the fact that's not a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, just believe me, chat. Just believe me. Every blue gem level, every level where you get blue gem, has the initials of T and W. So, Toxic Waste, Turtle Woods, and Tomb Waiter in the original trilogy, right? And then in the GBA game, Huge Adventure or Access, depending on where you're from, the level that has the blue gem is actually called Ruined. So it ruins the T and W thing with a level called Ruined, and that is a good fact. Never mind the fact that that is not the one that ruins it, but who cares?
Twok is, now that Crash 4 exists, Twok is obsolete. It doesn't exist. Access ruined it by the level Ruined. That's how it is now.
What level is the blue gem in Twok? I can't remember. Oh, it's an Arctic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an Arctic Antics. Yeah, so it's it's TW, AA, and then Ruined. But
I'm always like, Twok exists, but Murkas doesn't care about it.
Let's forget about AA, okay?
Yeah. Fourth boss, Pinstripe. He shoots an actual gun, unlike the guys in SRT. I was thinking actually, like, in SRT they gave them like the paint guns, and then in Crash 4 the enemies can snap your whole body in half, so it's like, you know, that's something. Guns are okay, but guns are not okay, but breaking your spine? Yeah, man. Yeah, he's on the boss, there's some patterns. We shall talk about it in the second race though. To leave you guys in suspense.
We need to leave something for the second race, or else me and Cody are just gonna sit here. Maybe we can get Logic in to ask like random questions, like trivia questions, Crash trivia questions for the second race.
He's done with generator room. I believe he got it first try. Jamie died on the way back there. You need to go backwards here, which is like clever. They give you some Oompas and like, oh, do I go backwards here?
I have to expand the TV theory. Ah, damn. What's the level with the blue gem called in? Oh, it's Dragon. No, wait.
Dragon
on. Yeah. I keep mixing them.
The level with the blue gem in CTRL is called Blue Gem Cup.
True.
PTR is the one who ruined it. Yeah, High Road is the Dark Souls of platformers or something like that. So, you know, hardest level in the game confirmed. Right.
Jumping on the ropes is some 300 IQ stuff, though. Imagine being brave enough to do that. Any brave people in chat jumping on ropes?
This is a nice bonus here. Like jump on the boxes on the bottom boxes and spin the upper ones. And meanwhile, Cookie is done with toxic waste. All his practice in toxic tunnels helped him learn the environment of the level. Yeah, Jaime is now done with High Road. And here comes like one of the hardest casual levels in the game. If you are going for gems, Slippery Climb. It's one of the harder levels in the game, and it has a color gem in it. You do the math.
It also, like, in any percent, also only has a single checkpoint. So, but if you die after basically if you die in this level, you either have to reset or start over again, like from the beginning of the level, and it's such a long death. Regardless,
this level is brutal in all categories.
Yeah.
Okay. Conveniently ignore Cookie fighting pin strips. I can talk about it later. And yeah, we're done with that fight now. Now Cookie will be entering the Dark Souls of platformers or whatever. So, you know. Good luck to him, I guess.
Kind of funny because Cookie also speedrunned some Dark Souls.
Ooh, I saved up 100,000 channel points in his channel and made him speedrun Dark Souls to all bosses. Or something like that, and then didn't even watch.
That is really mean. Come on, chat. Boo at Cody, please.
I didn't even play Dark Souls ever. Yeah. Jaime is done with the climb section. There is only one in this level. So this is basically the last stretch. But that's a long last stretch, but it is last stretch.
Prio is the Artorias of Crash. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible comparison. Brio is the hero we need.
Brio.
Not the hero. No, wait. Not the hero we need. The hero we deserve.
No.
Not the. That was the wrong way around. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Forget about it. Forget about it. That is exactly what I meant.
The hero we need but don't deserve. No, the hero we definitely don't need and we don't want him, but apparently we deserve him. Jaime is about to finish the level. There's only one enemy left. Will he do it? He got the red gem. Fun fact, when you already get the gem, even if it's colored, you can die there then. And you will still have the gem. If he somehow died after getting the red gem, it would be fine. Yeah, like this. Now Jaime is entering Lights Out. And it's the last level you do in any present in this run. After that there will be boxes everywhere.
Boxes everywhere. That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
You guys like boxes?
And now it's Cookie's turn to do slippery climb. I wish him luck.
Hopefully he doesn't pull a groovy, and then we're fine.
If someone doesn't know what pulling groovy is, it's spending 20 minutes in this level. Poor groovy. Maybe that's why he ditched the race. Just so he didn't have to hear that.
Every time I see a moving box logic, I start like spinning it. It's just the curse of being a Crash Runner. It's basically the same as the, like Spyro Runners just being jewelry thieves. They can't help themselves,
Every time me or Murka see a ledge, we are just like, oh, I have to hop slide. Oh.
Exactly.
It can be the smallest ledge, and you're like, oh, hop slide, haha.
So it's the box breakers and the gem stealers. Charge headfirst into a jewelry shop whenever you see one. Yeah, that sounds about right. Is there any other way to go into a jewelry store? So if there's ever an ESA or a GDQ or anything like that where everyone meets up, remember to hide your jewelry from Lodwick, okay? He's a confirmed jewelry thief. Just look at his Spiral speedruns. Have you ever seen anyone grab jewelry that fast? I haven't.
Crash Runners also get some jewelry. It's not on that scale.
Yeah, we just happen to find jewelry inside of boxes, though.
No man, like Crash Run, we get like 27 gems, and Spyro Runners are like, yeah, 14,000, I guess.
Yeah, we're small time burglars. The Spyro people are just they're world famous.
Well, actually, their value is 14,000, but how many gems is it exactly? Like how many red gems are there? How many green gems?
Small time burgers? Ah, yeah. Small time burger. I'm a $1 cheeseburger from McDonald's.
Hey.
Fun question. Do you guys have that? A $1 cheeseburger? Like, we had that for like many years, but we don't anymore. I know I'm not talking about the game, but I'm curious. Oh, you do? Okay. Or £1, I guess.
He's on a sleeper climb. Let's go.
Back Murkas. 2 for 2? Oh, so you can only get it for $2 if you buy 2. Oh, that's interesting.
I mean, that gives you a reason to get 2 cheeseburgers, so that sounds based. Nice damage abuse there from JB. Another nice damage abuse to not wait on the TNTs. And he's done with the bonus. I think it's like 130 here as well.
Yeah, that's the same here, Gaffy. They like changed it. Value and
He's almost done with draws now. If he were to die here, he literally has the checkpoint in the form of the bone. So like
I did spend a good like 20 minutes in this level once.
Cookie unfortunately died. He didn't have light on, so he didn't know where the holes are. He should have set his TV's gamma to like a very high level just to see the hole. Because that's something you can do in this game, actually. Logic, don't listen to Reichster, ever.
Yeah.
His suggestions. It's not worth it.
Spyro.
Yeah, you could have seen on Cookie's screen level that the crate at the end of the level turned into a medal one because it was the colored gem level actually, which requires a colored gem, but that's a neat detail that if you die in the colored gem level, the big crate at the end changes into a medal crate, showing that you can die. No, he's in. And then I want to start out the Jaws of Darkness. It's a rough level at the beginning. If you die, there's no checkpoint for a long time in this level.
Yeah.
So, guys, it's a massive time loss.
Did you guys know that dying in platformers is a massive time loss?
Not bad.
Did you guys know that Crash Bandicoot is actually a fox? They just want you to believe it's a Bandicoot. Real talk though, like, who thinks like he's not a like? How does he not look like a fox? Like, what other animal can that possibly be than a fox?
I mean, I can understand like the non-English speaking countries because of, like you don't know the word Bandicoot, so you're like, oh yeah, it's a fox or something. I also think people think it's a fox when living in an English-speaking country, despite the fact it says right there, Crash Bandicoot. Like, it clearly proves that people don't know what a bandicoot is.
What the fuck kind of foxes do you see? Those kind of foxes? What do you mean? Does your foxes not have Snickers and like shorts and gloves?
Back to the rug. Cookie died near the end of the blue jump path in Jaws of Darkness, so he has to go for it again, unfortunately, which is a fortunate time loss. Because as Murka said, dying in platformers loses you time. Jamie is in the final boss of this game. Yes, Brio is the final boss of this game. Can't prove otherwise.
Of this category at least.
Shut up. This game.
Oh
It's
yeah.
the only category that exists. Yeah, there's a nice animation cancellation you can do there after he throws the purple beakers. You can just force him to attack and then he'll cancel the animation. Oh, Jamie got a good early damage on Brother on his head. Dropped straight up onto him, right from his head, which saves quite a few seconds.
Fuck, marry, kill a Brio engine Cortex. Marry Brio. Fuck Cortex because of the triangular fossa. And then you kill engine. Brio seems like a family man. Yeah, he is a family man.
Jade is in the lab. This bonus can be annoying. You have to jump on the arrow crate and don't break the arrow crate above you so you can get up on it and break the box above it. Did that make sense? Probably not, but he's done with the bonus. Cookie is done with. Lots of darkness now.
Is that our boy Alapo with the raid?
Ah, it's not him, okay.
Oh, it's not.
Wrong guy.
Damn. I'm sorry.
Alipale. Can someone ban the Reichster? Thanks. I appreciate it. Okay. So James is done with the lab, which is the last level before revisit. So now it's time to go backwards. Except he enters Great Hall. Interesting.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, nice accident. Not a huge time loss because loadless timing. Now he goes back to Lights Out, which is the last color gem level. And it's the only level you need a color gem for to get a color gem. Which, you know, it's a cool concept. Cookie is zooming through castle machinery. He's up coming to a bridge, which can be annoying to be dealt with times. But this time it wasn't the time. If you don't know who to root for Groovy. He's like in Stormy right now.
After Groovy's ahead. Or Taro, you can root for Jamie this race and then Cookie the next one. Easy. Then you're as like impartial as you can be.
Jamie's done with Lights Out, Cookie's done with Castle Machinery.
Root for casters. Ah yeah, I'm playing the game too. I'm winning.
I can confirm I'm sitting right behind him.
Burgas. I've already won.
He's already done with both of the races.
More cast. Oh no.
Okay, Jamie is now in fumbling, which like in Jaws of Darkness, doesn't have a checkpoint for a while at the start of the level. No, it's not too bad though.
If you die, it's fairly long death though, and it's a very annoying level. Very difficult.
Hey, for Murkas. I see how it is.
It's Murkas and Mac Murkas.
Yeah. Cookie also got a quick brio fight, by the way. So he's fast. He'll channel his energy for the second race, I believe. First, it's meant to be a nickname. The second is a Twitch.
Should probably add like a Twitch logo or something next to that logic to make that obvious for cases like that.
Most people also call me Crowdy, usually. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it was just a suggestion. You know, work in the progress.
Okay, Jamie is done with Island 3, except for Stormy, which is left for later. And now it's Road to Nowhere time. There you go, it's Crowdy now. Og.
So, what is your favorite level in this Crowdy?
Don't call me that. My favorite level is Great Hall because it indicates I'm about to finish the run.
Yeah, true. First name, last name?
What is your favorite level, Morcas? Do tell.
It's a good question, actually. Why did I ask that question? I don't have an answer.
Oh,
Is it High Road with the like insane cool bonus?
the one with the crazy break
up and
above
down.
you?
Yeah. That is High Road, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
High Road and High Road and.
I see you enjoy the Dark Souls of platformers.
Yeah. I'm about to answer a level from C3. Tomb Raider.
Yeah, your favorite crush level, Tomb Raider. Isn't the crush one with the crazy break? Yeah, exactly. Josh gets it. I don't know, guys, if you know this, but Raymandicoot is the wordplay on Rayman from the Rayman series and Bandicoot from the real life series. Fun
Yes.
fact, I know. Here. Cookie's onto the backtracks now as well, by the way. Now that he's finished with the lab. Okay, but what is Logic's favorite Crush on level? That's the real question.
Smoking and Bandicoot. Smoking and Bandicoot is a good level if you don't suck. If you suck, it's difficult.
You know, George, Smokey is kinda isn't in Crush 1. I'm just saying. Smokey's some understandable.
Oh,
Cookie had
man.
some unfortunate deaths there. Having to do fumbling. More fumbling. Meanwhile, Jamie's on the last stretch in Boulder Dash, about to enter the purple platform, which will bring him down to his death. Or the secret area, we can call it secret even.
Every area is secret in your heart.
Yeah. Sure. You can pace through the boulder here freely. Because you're standing on the platform, so yeah.
I'm deep today, chat. Be deep with me. Come on. Today is a wholesome splash.
Every game can be HD if you try hard enough. No, we just gotta buy like
Just upscale it.
yeah.
Hello?
Buy an upscaler for $500 to get the HD resolution, and it's an HD game. Ah, that way we might get Boom Bank here.
Oh no.
Oh no, Lars, help! Help! Squares have undersides. Oh god. I'm telling you guys, it's a warning. It's not a challenge, it's a warning. Do not, and I repeat, do not attempt to do a run of Crash Boom Bang. You will regret it.
Oh no. I'm sending the
That's
ticket to
a
Twitch
challenge.
to unaffiliate this channel.
We're racing it. I'm not touching that game ever again. Like, that is a trap.
Will this be the first 10-way race on this channel, Pog? We just need 7 more people, guys. No, we might as well do the game from other franchise. We might add the Donald Duck going quackers to this. And just stream it here.
That's a good game, though. That's a good game. Boom Bang Relay, 1 person per hub. I mean, that could work. 1 hub is fine. Just hoping it's a hub that takes like 5 minutes instead of one that takes 40.
Using every item you have before finishing your hub just to annoy your teammate. How are runners doing? Jamie is in the bonus of the Rolling Stones. Cookie is on the red jump path in Road to Nowhere. There's few levels difference between them. Cookie had a rough run at some points. Oh, relay race of Twok, 1 person per level. We just need to find like 200 people. Trust me, guys.
That sounds really good. So you see Jamie finishing up another gem that we left behind earlier. I just feel like everyone knows Crash 1 at this point. The commentary has become this like informative, just like a talk with chat. We're just enjoying you all. Are you guys enjoying the Crash content? This is such an exciting race. I mean that. Like, no, that's not ironic or sarcastic or whatever. I think Cookie is closing in very, very much. And, but a Crash 1 commentary, it gets my brain all mungled. What jumbled?
I mean, there's just so much you can say about this game. Honestly, I'm sorry.
Groovy be like, yep. Let me do a Trey impression. Yep, Trey. Yep, stupid. Did that work? Did that impress everyone?
You also need to start slide spinning into a wall.
Oh yeah, true. More. Please describe the jumps and spins. Here you can see Cookie do a jump, into a spin, and then into another jump.
We call this tech jump and spinning. What do we call this tech, guys? It's been a while, even before Cookie joined, but we should call it the Cookie tech.
Cookie tech. Floaty, haha. Cookie Crumbler. Oh, that's a horrible fucking... Jesus.
That's a horrible name, I mean. Cookie's finishing up Boulder Dash. So good for him. Fun fact, that's not a very fun fact, but fun fact. In original release of the NTSU version of the game, you can jump from those arrow crates into the death plane and die. Which forces you to do the whole level again. They somehow fixed it in N.Sane. Like good ones. And it's not the most fun dev because Boulder Dash, original Crash 1, is the last level in Hando, actually. Game is missing only 3 gems to be on of the run. Cookie is about to finish up Island 2 and then go on to Island 1. And yeah.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, Hooper likes to just come up with different labels.
Jamie tried to go for a jump there.
One time I talked with Hooper about different Twok versions, and he was like, yeah, I got the purple label, the turquoise label, blue label, you know, like... Hooper just makes labels.
Yeah, he probably also got like a red-blue stripes label. Labeled Cooper label.
Instead of Mac Hooper, he's Mac Label now.
Something happened to Jamie. I think he had to re-enter the level. Good thing we commentators are paying attention.
Thank you for co-commentating, Taro.
Yeah, thank you.
What will we do without you?
Oh, unfortunate death in the moment for Jamie. He's just trying to make it more exciting, the race, I mean.
He was getting close to world record, so he had to stop.
He's too good to be kept alive. That's what Ben Tango is thinking right now.
Oh, true.
Cope Walk version is the one Buchu has. Potty Cope label. The section Cookie is in right now is interesting. There's like a mag of Cortex back there, but it's the mag that is used in Crash 3 as Cortex's mag, and it's not used in Crash 1 and 2. Jamie is now done with upstream. It's time for him to enter Jungle Rollers. which requires green gem and has a ton of bonus in it. So it's a very hard level. While Cookie will be in turn 8 now. So that's second hardest level left in the run, except for Stormy.
This is a pretty hard level to revisit. All gems does include Stormy, yeah. Because it does indeed have a gem.
Something Lars doesn't know about Crash lore. Did you know Penta Penguin has a girlfriend? I'm pretty sure it's something with a Crash manga. Yeah, there was a Crash manga, actually.
A Crash manga.
I'm not even joking. That's something that happened. It explains that Tona left the Crash for Pinstripe in that manga. Crash manga is not. It's canon now. You are not canon, T-Bolt. Collection.
Hey, don't make fun of a Dragon Ball collection. I have one.
Good for you.
They're in Norwegian though, but you know.
Did Mario have a manga? I don't think so. I actually don't know. There's a chance that Mario had a manga, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Swedish, so you approve. It's good. I mean, at least Danish people can read Norwegian.
It did? Of course it did. Sonic probably also had a manga.
Hot take. Sonic is an overrated game series.
Sonic wrote the manga. Yeah, where is my manga?
All uncorrected. Correct, yeah. We about to fight? Yeah, I don't know. I have about one Sonic game that I actually enjoy. Well, there's a few. I guess Adventure 2 Battle and Heroes is fine. Please ban Mercus for that comment.
Fuck, is better than CTR? Okay, I know how to get you banned from Hypnoshark's channel at least.
When's 06 speedruns? I agree with him, yes. I'm not a big fan of the 2D Sonic games at all. Like, I'm not a big fan of the 2D platforming in Sonic games at all. They just literally do not do it for me.
I go back, it's not a... Hey, Lars is right here, you know?
True.
Hot take. It's hot outside. Thanks for listening. Yeah, I know Jamie's like very much past the Stormy bonus, but Stormy bonus was created by Carrie's Visions themselves. They had to come up with it. and that actually works with the bounce mechanics and stuff. Oh, good job, VB. Yeah, that was unfortunate death and Jamie's partner. No. He's about to finish up the level, hopefully, and finish up the run. Who wants to do the hardest level in the game, joke? Is it me or you?
You.
Now Jamie is about to enter the hardest level in the entire game. It's so hard that only 1% of the players ever finish the level. And they only finish it the easy way, and Jamie is about to finish it the hard way. Look at this jump. Look at these moves. Look at this corner cut. Oh my god, he is insane. Another corner cut? Oh my god, look at him go. And he is about to finish up the run right now.
So 1:18:54. That's pretty good. That is not bad at all.
While Cookie is in jungle rollers, then he'll be in Stormy and will try to finish up the run. It's at the end. Jamie might have won the first race, but it's the combined times of 2, so everything can still happen in the other run.
There is more to come. Now I get to see the lore. Hope you guys are invested in the lore.
It's a non-canon lore, but sure. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? I don't remember seeing him anywhere.
Yeah. Me neither. I saw his face at
I think he briefly appears in some bonuses, but other than that, I don't know.
Yes.
Cookie is entering Stormy. He's still entering Stormy. He entered Stormy. Amazing.
So now you see more of the hardest level in the run.
Yeah, your run was very good, Jamie. A very good reset list.
Very good reset was indeed.
Cookie with another triple mask. He can send on the spikes now. Because he can. That's how it works.
Cookie's gonna turn on the engines, I believe.
He'll play the game on 2x speed.
Turning on engines. Boy. I want to turn on my engine.
After you kill them,
Yes.
then more Cascades engine and then turning on.
Mmm.
Mm.
Lore.
More crash. Oh, unfortunate death for Cookie there. It looked like his game lagged actually.
I became engine? Oh. This is new lore. Am I engine you junior?
So if I'm Crash Bandicoot in your engine, are you like my uncle or something? I don't know.
I think so. I think that's what that means.
Although I don't know though. Crash didn't really beat engine yet. All I know is Cortex is the dad. Cookie will be finishing up the run. Oh, yeah, okay. And you said words again. Don't listen to me when I'm not even playing it. Field 123.
Alright, GG.
5-minute difference. So it's looking rough for Cookie, but you never know what can happen in the other race.
Yeah, there's still a whole other race we have.
Right. How'd you feel that race went, guys? I think I don't know much about Crash, but it looked like Jimmy did pretty well that race. Cookie, on the other hand, not too hot.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of went as we expected, considering like the de-rust, Cookie did. There was some really stupid mistakes that cost him a few minutes, and then other than that, it was pretty good. He played pretty well, but it's easy for time to just snowball doing this.
Yeah,
but
the biggest
Jamie's
mistake was the fact that Cookie missed the box in Temple Ruins twice, so he had to go through it 3 times basically, which costed him a lot of time, which was one of the main time losses in his run. But
Jamie's
other
run-
than that, he played solid.
Yeah, Jamie's run was really, really good though. Other than like one mistake, basically, like one big one.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was the death in Gen room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it can definitely still be turned around. Although, Cookie basically has to play godlike, and Jamie has to have a pretty bad run for him. He's a very consistent player, so.
Yeah, I mean, before, I mean, we mentioned at the start of the event, but before today, Jamie actually PB'd by a little bit, so he was definitely in form for today, whereas Cookie was doing all clear gems for Crash 4. So
I respect that. I respect it. All clear gems is all clear gems. It's all gems, right? It's some kind of prep.
yeah, true. But I think that kind of I guess attention comparison, obviously Jamie put a bunch more time into it than Cookie, and it's really showing, I think.
Yeah, it might, like, I've seen Cookie derust in like 1-2 runs, you know, so the second race might look a lot different. That's probably how I think it's gonna go, but it remains to see. Jamie is a real consistency beast, so.
What are your thoughts for the next race? Do you think Jamie might play that similar level? Do you think he might maybe even PB if he continues playing well, or do you think Cookie's gonna kind of pull this back?
I believe in a sub 120 for both runners now. I think that's highly likely within the possibilities, and it's really hard to say anything before Great Gate Skip, you know, like how the run's gonna go out, because like not only it's one thing failing it, yeah, okay, it fails it's a minute time loss, but what's more important is that it sets the mood for the entire run. Like if you start the run a minute behind, the mentality kind of takes a hit. So I'm interested to see how this can go. I think it can go anyway, although Jamie is playing extraordinarily well, so I think it's going to be hard for Cookie to do anything about this.
Cookie is derusted now though, so I think he should do better now. And not and know that where he failed last time and be careful around those levels now. So I think that both runners should be able to get sub 120s in the next race. We'll see though. Because one mistake can like set up you for other mistakes and other things like that.
Yep, 100%. I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, I love the commentary in the first race. It was really good. Hopefully we can get comms like that in the second. I know it's hard to, I guess, carry on conversation in terms of like the strat explanations from one race to the other, but I think we're in for a good time. I'll give the run to I'll count down to the runners and then we'll begin. Alright, we should be ready to go. There we go. Actually, I have a question right off rip.
It begins. Jamie pressed continue button instead of new game and he has to quit already. Unfortunate.
I think, are we gonna have a redo? Yeah, I think we're gonna redo. Okay. Oh, count down the run?
Cookie's full force in, but he's quitting now. Okay, second race. Cookie's a winner. This is a best of 3 now instead of combined time of 2 races. GG's Cookie. This race will decide everything.
We need to take a moment for something. We should Rayman up, or should Jamie up, and then we're tripping Cookie up too. So I think we'll be good for the countdown.
Jamie is simply preparing the RNG manipulation for his run to get the good roll from Mr. Tangway himself.
Okay, we should be good now. Okay, so actually I have a question. So obviously I made in Spyro. Crash for me isn't a I'm not very knowledgeable. I'm actually kind of curious. For Crash 1 with all clear gems in specific, how is it as an entry point to the NST series, do you think all gems might be a decent first run, or would you recommend one of the any percents, maybe from a different Crash game?
I think every Crash 1 category is a fantastic entry level. It's a fantastic entry level game. Like even with the difficulty of not dying in the gems, I still think it's a pretty fair entry level category. Like it doesn't really have any like game breaking difficult things except for that. You can start with any percent, but all gems is just as good of a start. I've known a few people that started right off the bat with 105%, which includes the relics because they are really lenient too. Mm-hmm. So Crash 1 in general is just a fantastic entry level speed game. It's just really easy to get into and really hard to get really good at.
Oh, okay, yeah, so the skill ceiling, I imagine, even though it is an easy game to get into, the skill ceiling for the game must be pretty staggering. I'm assuming the records for a majority of the categories I would assume are like extremely optimized, or are there some categories that could use a little work?
I would say like Crash 1 was like definitely the most popular in the beginning of the game's like history. And it was the most optimized for a long amount of time, but kind of the people who ran it for very long kind of left it be a bit for a while. So any percent has seen very big like income of players lately that will probably there will probably be a new world record within a month or so in any percent, which is the first time in almost 3 years, I believe.
Jeez, wow. Okay.
2.5 years. So we're probably going to see an 80% shift. All gems was taken by Cookie not that long ago. I still think there's like a minute left to save there. And then in 105, about the same, I would say. So they are hard. Because like it's easy to lose a big amount of time in this, but they have come a long way the last few years, even though the records haven't been switched as much.
Right, that is really cool that Crash 1 is the entry point and the most worked on Crash game. I believe that's a similar trend in Spyro, which is a nice transformation there.
I don't think it's the most worked on per se, or depending on how you classify working on. I definitely think Crash 3 is the one that's been ripped apart in terms of like, I think there's a total of, if we include the new stuff recently found, there's like a 25-second sob difference between world record and sob in that game. When world record was set, there was a 10-second difference between sob and world record, which is beyond wild, you know, like the best sob in Crash 1 is still almost a minute and a half ahead. If you want to talk like theoreticals, you know? So Crash 1 was worked on a lot and is getting worked on again now, seeing the love it gets now. It had like a few years of like where Depp was just ahead by so far. Now he's getting overtaken by 2-3 people, which is insane to see. And yeah, I don't know. It is like all of them are getting worked on. I think even C2 has gotten like tons of love the last year or so.
Do you think it's nice to, even after a category kind of quietens down a bit, there's always like a wave of new runners, or just a wave of like interest for Crash 1. It's always a fun thing to see. It's nice to see that the skill ceiling just keeps going up, you know. That's a nice sight.
Yeah, there's been especially 2 new runners that have both gotten like, that are both having runs daily basically to warp or Island 3 on world record pace, so it's gonna happen any day. The 41 is gonna happen any day now, and that's gonna be that is the longest standing record in NST's history. So seeing that broken is gonna be very, very big.
Well, that's gonna be a nice, the start of something new there when that happens. That's really interesting.
Exactly.
Crash 1 is the game that you can easily get into, as it was said, because the movement is very basic for it. You just jump and spin.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do it fast, like they do.
And then with Spyro, I'm sorry if drawing the connections is a little overdone, but for Spyro 3, it's a lot more movement heavy, while Spyro 2 is more trick heavy. Is it switched around for Spyro 3? Because I know Crash 3, sorry, because I know Crash 3 has a lot of out of bounds, as shown in your guys' race.
I would say Crash 3 has the most of both movement and depending on like movement and like it is definitely the most trick heavy. But in terms of movement, it also uses hub slides, Mach tornadoes, and double slides. You know, and while Crash 2 only has hub slides, but there's more of it in Crash 2. But Crash 3 has more variety to the movement.
Okay.
I don't know if Brody wanted to say something about that exact thing.
Yeah, just wanted to say that like Crash will have like a lot of tricks and a lot of movement in it. So yeah. Also, give me a second because dogs are being loud a little.
No problem.
Yeah, they're basically Crash 2 has the same movement throughout the entire run, and it's really heavy on that. Like it really emphasizes on the hub sliding. Mm-hmm. Crash 3 is more of a variety, and the run is just overall very like there's clips, there's out of bounds, there's glitches, the level design just works out perfectly in its favor with the movement that we are given. So it definitely has the most of both. I think it's a step up from each game. Like Crash 1 has the simple jump and spin, optimize that, like not very many glitches. It's very simple, straightforward, but difficult platforming experience. And then Crash 2 implements that one movement tech and utilizes that throughout the entire run. And then Crash 3 just gets broken.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a mix of Spyro 2 and Spyro 3, I would say, because I did learn the first like up until LS with like the old 100 before NLS was a thing for Hundo in Spyro 2. So I've learned like most of the tricks that is used until you get Fireball, and then I kind of stopped there. So I would say a lot of it is like kind of similar to that, like the gay clip kind of reminds me of LS, stuff like that,
Right. It's really cool that the all three games offer some different kind of variety for a speedrun. Like as you put before, Spyro 1 is the most basic, whereas Spyro 2 is obviously I can imagine doing hop slides for the whole run. I don't know how difficult a hop slide is, but I can imagine doing that same trick throughout the entire run could, if not prove difficult just from execution, could prove difficult for the kind of stamina you need to continuously do it for the amount of the run.
Yeah, that too. The stamina kind of becomes like you stop worrying about it eventually. After a while, like it doesn't phase you really. But in terms of like what's annoying with hop sliding is that you need to have a heightened surface to do it on. So especially in Crash 2, there's some places you drop it and you literally just don't have the chance to resume it. So you just lose a lot of time to not being able to do that. So you need to chain them together or else you will lose a lot of time.
Right. I keep saying Spyro 1 and 2, sorry. Jeez.
I mean, that's a Spyro. That's not weird. Like, every time I talk about Spyro, I do the same, like, Crash.
I'm gonna make sure to invent hop sliding in Spyro to prevent myself sounding stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Morkas will find leather storage in Crash 2.
Oh, that sounds great.
The only thing we have is fire fusion. That is somewhat similar. And not really, though. But it can make the full completion of all three games fast.
Mm-hmm. I guess if McCurdy, if I could ask you for Spyro I keep saying Spyro for Crash 1, with even though it's entry level, it is pretty low and can be recommended for a first speed game. I guess the punishing mistakes that can come around. Do you think, obviously with the gems, there are some gems that you have to go deathless for, but in other levels, do you think that the game was like quite punishing, or do you think that there's like few areas that are problematic and everything else is just like don't worry about it?
There are few levels that as I said during the previous round, where the first checkpoint is very late into the level. And if you die there, you can even lose like a minute because you didn't get to the checkpoint yet, and you have to go through that part again.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Jaws of Darkness, the first checkpoint is like 2 minutes into the level, right, or something like that. It's very far though,
Right.
and there is a lot of waiting because there is like one elevator, you have to stand on it, and then from that elevator you enter the other elevator and you have to wait again. So it's also a lot of waiting.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting, honestly, because even with Crash 1 being the I guess the convenient entry point to the series, there are some levels that still would probably cause some big mental blocks for new runners.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, Crash 1 is a really well worked on game. Are there, I guess from the learning side of things, if a new runner wanted to approach Crash 1, are there resources on speedrun.com that say that kind of make the hard tricks kind of easy, or like bottle them down a little bit, or are there like the tools and stuff that just how to do the trick, you gotta work on it yourself, and no like tips or anything?
We don't really have that many resources. One of our main resources is like a crash helper, which allows you to set your lives to 0, and then you can just immediately game over and start the level over again to get entry cycles, so that's helpful for practicing individual levels. It also allows you to give yourself masks as well, so it takes care of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that though, like playing Crash, when getting into Crash 1, it's really just playing it. The only real problem I think that can arise with Crash 1, in case of any present, I mean here, is the green gem in Lost City.
Right, I can imagine that would be the very first big block for new runners, obviously, because if you die, that whole level's got to be done again. So
You either do it again or just do Castle Machinery normally. There are some backups in Castle Machinery that can be used in any present pass where you do it normally, like some death abuses to get further into the level quickly. Not faster than getting the green gem in Lost City, but if you like die near the end Lost City, then at this point just finish the level. There's no point in doing the level again.
right. Murkaz is named Mick Murkaz because we were having a burger talk earlier, and Crody had a go at me for I had McCrody as both his nickname and his Twitch. People call him Crody, so I just moved him around, you know.
Rushman is the easiest to get into. So personally, I played Crash 3 first, run Crash 3 first.
Right.
Because I just thought that the run looks fun, so I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna play it.
I guess Crash 1, even though it is the most convenient entry point into the series, it probably isn't the right one for everyone. I guess for runners that would want more variety, or maybe you think of them doing Crash 1, you don't really see it, would you recommend Crash 3 or Crash 2?
Crash 3 or Crash 2? It really depends on what they want. Although personally, I would just say try out Crash 3 because it has a lot to it. And I don't, I am biased here, and Crash 2 doesn't have that much stuff for the beginners, and the game can sometimes not function properly. Crash 2 definitely has a lot of focus on good movement, like Crash 3 has a lot of vehicle levels, so like if someone doesn't like that many vehicle levels, then I would say Crash 2. But if like they want more variety, then Crash 3.
Right. Well, I'm happy that the NST, I covered it earlier, but I'm happy the NST series just has like a lot of good, this is good variety, you know, like obviously we are showcasing Crash 1 right now, which as you said is more so on like the small optimizations with the movement you'll give them. But it's nice to see that with every Crash game you're gonna get something new, you know, it's not like a similar progression through like the basic movement.
All 3 games have something to it, basically. Crash 1 is like one of the more chill runs, but it's still hard. But no, I think it's more chill than the other 2 games.
Yeah, I'm back. Excuse for that.
Welcome back, no problem. I guess we could run the questions by you, Merkaz. I guess as like as a summary one. Obviously, we were talking about Crash 1 being a good entry point for runners, but with the variety the series offers, if it was up to you, if a runner that you saw was coming into the NST series who was maybe you knew them of a history of more like a variety, would you still recommend NST 1 or would you maybe give them Crash 3?
I think I will always recommend Crash 3. Just because personally, I just like biased obviously, but I just think it's a more interesting speedrun because of the movement tech and everything it has to offer. But that is me, like I'm more for the movement based things, and even at a barrier entry of Crash 3, you can easily not do the tricks. Like they don't save that much time. You can start out by just playing the game like you would play Crash 1 just with the slide, you know? Like it doesn't need to jump into it with all the tricks. It's still relatively easy to get into because it's a linear Crash level, like Crash game. Like you can still easily get into it. So I would always recommend that, yeah.
That's fair enough. You know, both Jamie and Cookie are actually doing really well for this race. I've not seen any mistakes, at least on the major side. I'm not the one to look for minor mistakes in their play.
And Jamie has only like some minor mistakes, I believe, in N.Sane Beach. There's some minor stuff, but other than that, the run is going solid for both of them. They're in the same level at the same time. The only difference being like their loading times at the moment.
Right.
Oh yeah, guys, it's Color Gem, you can die here. Commentary done. Except you can die in bonuses. Bonuses don't count towards that. That's good to know, actually. Waiting for something exciting to happen.
Doesn't always something exciting happen? What do you mean?
Yeah, sure.
So they're both pretty equal now, or looks that way at least.
Yeah, sounds alright. Jamie is done with Lost City. Cookie is entering the bonus of Lost City. The second bonus. 2 out of 2.
1811.
1811. Oh. Cookie didn't spin, so he has to bounce on the crates now. And hopefully he'll just finish up the level.
I reckon this is going to be a much more enjoyable race from the runner's side as long as Cookie doesn't miss a box twice in Lost City.
Cookie
In,
seems to be
Temple Ruins. Yeah.
Oh, Temple Run, sorry, right.
I mean, you were
14
close.
behind.
It was the level before, so
Oh.
you were close.
Almost.
Lost City was the level he was in, but yeah, I think this I already see from Cookie's side that he's playing a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's about 14 behind Jamie right now, from what I saw at the timers.
Oh, okay. Cookie's definitely, I think the rust is shaken off a good bit, obviously, the first race. His first race early game was decent, obviously, but I guess, obviously, his Temple Ruins was not too great. But now I think we might be seeing a different man.
He took out the C from ACG. And now he'll be gaming.
He's gaming now.
different man. So is it not Cookie anymore?
Someone else took the controller. Someone else just
Race invalid.
Gave it to his brother.
The true NS21 god. Yeah.
Didn't miss the bouncy crate there, and he broke it with the triple mask this time.
Okay.
I believe that was the box he missed, at least in one of the previous attempts. Yeah, he should have, yes, he'll have all the boxes. There's one more there.
Oh, beauty.
Yeah, that's way better. Temple Ruins.
He should be a lot happier with his performance right now, like not even halfway through the run. He's already be, I think, more proud of himself than last race.
I think it's definitely looking a lot better, at least. Like, he's playing like the Cookie I know now, compared to like the last time where he was doing. I think.
Oh, Jamie jumped just right into the gap between the ice platforms.
Unfortunate. That's gonna leave Cookie some time to catch up.
Good thing the masks don't matter for the next level, because the next level takes them away. Yeah, it was an annoying death for him, for sure.
Mm-hmm. How many times in the All Gems run does mask management really come in clutch? Obviously, there are some levels at the beginning that use triple mask quite often, but say later in the run.
Hard to say exactly, but it's really important in like if you have many, like you just use it for damage abuses, right? Too. So they're always nice to have, but I think in heavy machinery it's really good. In toxic waste, right? It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Out of Road to Nowhere is good because of the ropes as well.
Yeah, and then you need it for Koala. You need one. Like it's just, and in Cortex Power.
Oh yeah, definitely that as well.
So yeah, there's like it's like tons of level where it's good, but it's good in different ways. Like it's not always like the mask form, but sometimes the damage abuses too that are really important. There's just, yeah, I don't know how many exactly, to be honest, but there is quite a lot in Endgame too, but most notably in early game because like there's tons of places in early game where you don't really need to jump as much, so you can just like run forwards and it's so fast.
Right. Does this level require getting all the gems in one sitting? Because Jamie missed a box right at the beginning. Oh no, he's good. Okay, I forgot this is a.
Sorry, there's a gem you need to do that at the end. So it's just you get the gems you get the boxes that you basically can get without spending too much time, so that a lot of them don't fall at you at the end.
Oh,
you have to revisit, and in 105 you have to do it 3 times.
Oh.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Why the third time? Just for the relic?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That level can be one cycled with the relic. You only get sapphire at the best.
Yeah, so you can't get the gem with, like, for example, in Temple Ruins, you can get the gem and the relic at the same time, and most of the levels that relics are in, you can get both like that, but not in that level. You just can't.
Yeah,
It's
to be
too-
able to
too
one
slow.
cycle a level, it has to have no bonus, and you need to have enough time to get all the boxes on the other paths as well.
And since those levels are really linear, the timer on them aren't that lenient enough to do a whole extra part of the level.
Yeah, true.
Probably like one of the coolest one cycles you can do is Castle Machinery, because you just skip the first visit of the level with the green gem, and then you do the one cycle with the relic and the gem.
That is one of the big, like, I guess, benefits of Crash, like the one cycles. A game really suffers if you can't do one cycles in it. You will see some really good examples of one cycles in Crash games when me and Crody eventually do 108 on this channel. There's some really wild one cycles in Crash 3 that emphasizes really well on it.
Giving some added suspense to an event that will happen 5 weeks from now. Love it.
Exactly.
It's like 4 weeks.
Oh, true. I'm really excited for that event. I think that'll be a great showing.
Yeah, I just have to de-rust because I haven't played the category in 2 years.
Oh.
I never properly played it.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
I reckon, yeah. I actually have a question regarding your guys' experience with NST1. With your experience on the game, I guess, maybe playing it and watching it, you know. Did you feel that from what you were told by NST1 kind of held up in terms of like what would be the enjoyable parts, or did you feel a bit, I guess, just indifferent about how the game played, and that's why you moved to different games like Crash 3?
I personally started out with Crash 3, so I don't have much to never play that Crash 1. I usually like kind of start feeling tired during Crash 1 because of like how mind-numbing it is.
For me, I wanted to start out with Crash 1, like, cause like that was the one I found the most interesting, like casually playing through it when this game released, and then I thought it was a good idea to like, oh, let me just do like a blind any percent run for all 3 games to see like which one I have the most fun with, and then it was like Crash 3. It was really fun when I did it, so I was like, let me do it again, and then I just kind of never stopped doing it again. You know, like it's just I had tons of more fun with that. Just getting better at that, improving at that was really just I couldn't really stop just playing. I just wanted to continue playing all the time. It's kind of weird for me because like I'm different that way, because like in Spyro 1, I think, or Spyro in general, I think Spyro 1 looks the most interesting, like, as a completion run for me. I think the way it does its simplicity is better than in Crash. I think the simplicity in Spyro 1 is done really well. Just think it's a perfect length, perfect, like, completion type of category.
Right. It's interesting that you think that as well, because the Crash and Spyro games, as we've discussed today, are kind of like transferable. With obviously 1 being the most linear, 2 being the most trick heavy, and 3 being a good mix of the batch. So
Yeah.
it's interesting with the I guess the perspective of the series, maybe, even though they theoretically are the same kind of completion category and the same runs, they maybe offer different I guess like executions and strats, or they offer different variants in that simplistic tone to spice it up a bit.
I think what Spyro 1 does so perfectly compared to Crash 1 is that no need for revisit. Like in Crash 1, you have to do a few levels twice, and it gets a bit like that. In Spyro 1, it's a very pure progression route, and it's just great like that. I don't know. Not having to redo levels is a big, like the fact that you have to replay levels in Crash 1 completion is mostly what turns me off for it. I think, like, without having to do relics, it's just replaying levels in this doesn't feel as replaying levels in Crash 2 or 3 for me, because it doesn't change that much. But yeah, the simplicity is fantastic, right? Because like some people really prefer optimizing the simplicity, and others prefer like just jumping head straight into the mess that is a like tech/trick speedrun, right? So the fact that both series gives choices to all sorts of players is great, I think, for both Spyro and Crash. And now that SRT has really like cemented itself as a speed community too. Since I might be wrong here, but I felt like SRT took a bit to establish itself like apart from OG. But now it has a really good and stable community with good community leaders, and people like you, Logic, that keeps pushing it like further and further. That finally gets into like it's finally been pushed to its own thing, and the optimized speedruns are getting really fun and interesting to watch. They all have different things from OG, and they all give different opportunities. And with stuff like NLS getting added, on top of LS, gives Spyro 2 a lot more accessibility for newer players that wants to play it too.
It's definitely a community effort. I love that. I wish I could take partial credit, but I think the community members in the SRT scene right now definitely add their unique perspective and provide to the movement. It's not like a spiteful separation, just more so it's to a point where the game has been worked on by many people to it's become just more unique compared to OG. Back in the day for SRT, it was just use OG routes and reignite, so it was like, well, alright, whatever,
Yeah, that's what I mean, because like there's more to Spyro in terms of routing than there is to Crash mostly, like with the gems and stuff. And now they've all had their own work, and it's amazing. I want to quickly talk about like the bonuses that we are seeing on screen, like how the box breaking tech that is mentioned in chat. I can explain that if you spin on a box on top of a box, you don't fall through the bottom box. So that's what's been used basically. Got to talk about the run a bit too.
We've been going down the rabbit hole for conversation. I think I've been keeping an eye on the streams, and both runners look to still be doing very, very well. Again, I'm not the one for minimal mistakes, but
Cookie is slightly ahead. He seems to be playing slightly better.
Living Koala, he was about 10 seconds ahead of Jamie.
Ooh, okay.
I took keep an eye on it.
I'm actually curious in regards to OG Crash and NST for Crash 1, let's say. How long are the routes similar and like the how they play very similar, or have there been changes to make it more unique as a speed game?
There's been changes, very many changes. Like, with Crash 1, there's not much changes that can be done in terms of routing because it's a linear progression path, you know?
Right.
You gotta go from A to B and B to C, you know? Like, you don't really have much choice. But in terms of masks, it's different because from what I know, you don't use the masks the same way in OG. I'm not much of the OG 100% watcher, so I can't say much about that. But
in OG, you rarely want triple mask, like just for like first 2 levels you want triple masks because NSB has the box bridge and Jungle Rollers has the skip that is doable with the triple mask.
And also the fact that in Crash 1 you can death abuse after a checkpoint to avoid getting the boxes to break on you at the end of the level, so that's like a big change in how you play the game. You basically die in every level on purpose.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and in Crash 2...
that game, can I just add up to Crash 1? In the OG, it's like Yes, death abusing also means that because Crash 1 OG and all OG games run on global cycles, you also death abuse to get the cycles and work on that. So masks are really useful there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good skip by Jamie here. Let's see if Cookie can get it equally. Yeah, that was really good too. I didn't get that triple mask. That's unfortunate. And then in Crash 2, triple mask is only used in one level in OG, and it's used quite a lot in NST2. So it's quite a big difference there. Also, as Cody said, like one big thing is that every cycle is global in OG, and that's not the case in NST. Most are either upon entering the level or when you enter their proximity. So, it's just very different. And Crash 3 is a completely different beast to that. Like
in both any percent and full completion, the categories are very different compared to OG and routing.
Yeah, it's just not the same. Like we have different movement tech changing. We have boss skips. We have out of bounds that aren't really in OG. You know, like. And like the cycles are completely different. The mask routing is completely different. Like we basically only use masks if it skips something or anything. And in OG3, you basically want as many masks as possible because it makes you move super fast, which is not the case for NST3. So it's a completely different run.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we established ourselves as our NST got established as a different speed game fairly early on, but it kept the same as Spyro, kept evolving and got more and more recognized the further time went.
Right. A trend that was in SLT right now, when I joined, was that as you go through the numbered games, the higher the number, the least optimized the game was. Obviously, Spyro 1 at the time was incredibly optimized. Spyro 2 was decent, but then you had Spyro 3, which was lacking. Was that a similar thing in NST at some point, maybe back in the day?
If you switch 3 and 2, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was 1 and 3 got immense love, and then with 1 being on the forefront there, and then 2 was kind of neglected.
Mm-hmm. Still kind of is.
It still definitely is the most neglected. I almost think I want to say Crash 3 and Crash 1 is either equal or they've been back and forth since the beginning. There's been times where Crash 3 has been the most loved, and then there's been times where Crash 1 has been the most loved. Crash 2 has just always been the last, sadly, because
Crash 2 is just kinda there.
It's interesting that would be the case too, because normally people like to seek out the trick-heavy speedruns, and NST2 were kind of providing that, yet still not.
No, it's the movement one.
Oh, true.
Yeah, NST2 is movement based, but I think what makes it like that logic is the fact that OG2, like Crash OG2, is so loved and so popular, and NST doesn't really bring anything new to it. It kind of just like dumbs it down a bit. Like
Right.
It's different in terms of routing and stuff, but there's really like OG2 still gives more of what you want in that. Like it's harder to get into, but OG2 is just so loved and so appreciated that NST2 just doesn't change enough for that to be the case, while in NST1 and in NST3 they are completely different games, you know?
You're right. Okay.
So I think the fact that it just has too much similarities to OG, but just lacking a lot of the things that made OG like super good, I think that's most of the
OG
reason.
Crash 2 is just that good.
Yeah.
No,
OG Crash 2 is really just that good.
Pinstripe fights. Okay, you can see Pinstripe shooting there. You hit him 3 times there. You let him go from point A to point B once in the first 3 phases, just so it's faster on the 4th phase. Then he shoots and stops on the left, then on the right, and then in the middle. Yeah, that's the Pinstripe fight in a nutshell. See, we explained it in the second race, as we said we would. Thanks for waiting, everybody.
So, if in case I understand it right with the Pinstripe, it's actually interesting because do you take every opportunity to hit him as early as you can, or do you kind of delay yourself a little bit to change your side goal?
You skip once to let him go to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Just so he ends up on the good side where you can hit him immediately. So you can see Cookie skipping him there because the 4th hit is only when he's on the left.
Okay.
So he lets him walk, like, you let him walk past once just to, like, line him up, and that's faster. Other than that, you hit him immediately every time.
Right. I love that kind of strat, because obviously, at least Crash 1 bosses can seem very just, kind of simple, you know? Like, it's just nothing really,
Yeah,
sometimes
there is,
nothing going on.
aside from Kong, it's just a small stuff that makes the fight faster in this game.
Yeah. And
It's just
those small things
Crash
definitely add to
fights
it.
in general, right?
Right.
Like, Crash Bandicoot boss fights aren't the most, like, technical or, like, what should I say? Like, difficult.
Mm-hmm.
They're just kind of straightforward. That's kind of like the charm of the bosses. What's the name of the... Yeah, Crash 3 breaks some bosses, but what's the name of the... Oh, what's the name of that fucker in Spyro 3, the first boss?
Tiny?
No, Spyro.
Spyro 3.
Oh, Spyro 3. Oh, Buzz.
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 Yeah. Fuck boss.
Hey, listen, right? There's actually a funny thing about that is the route and Spyro 3 has been developed quite a lot to where there's actually a consistent strat for Buzz, and it's actually thought out to the point where if you know how to play the fight, it's actually, in my opinion, one of the most enjoyable fights in the run.
Oh, interesting.
With the new developments, there's a I'm not going to talk about it too much because there's a Crash event, but because when I joined the community, that was like the common thing. Buzz, awful fight. That's why Spyro 3 was a little quiet, because getting to Buzz was just like a coin flip on whether or not things will work or not. Because there's a small thing that can happen. You fly off the arena to avoid him, but if he kind of stalls and waits for no reason, he'll catch you while you're out the arena and you'll lose all your sparks because you'll be pushed into the lava and you can't get out. So you just die. And that was like a common thing to happen for runners. But since then, Buzz has been transformed to now that I would say isn't true anymore.
That's sick to hear, though. Like, hearing... Obviously, Spyro and Crash has had, like, a fairly tight-knit community in terms of, like, we interact with each other and all that for years and years, and HD is kind of trying to implement, or kind of trying to do that as the same as what OG did back in the day, having the Splash stuff, like Splash Fecta and all that. So hearing about the developments that Spyro makes is really interesting.
Yeah. That's the joy of it, honestly. With the event, of course, it's always nice just to bring the communities together to kind of like. It's obviously always fun, at least for me, to hear the perspective of other runners, even just within the same series. You know, like maybe Crash 1 runners interacting with Crash 3 runners through an event. Having that for NST and SRT for themselves and for each other is a great way to just kind of hear more about speed games and maybe gain interest from it, maybe build on the community, that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Have anyone seen the time between these two now, or?
Still seems they're pretty much the same.
Yeah,
I believe.
I think McCooper said Cookie was 2 seconds ahead of Jamie at one point. Oh, 9 seconds ahead. No, gee, this has been an extremely close race. My oh my.
This is usually how I feel like the Crash 1 races go. They're so consistent, and it's great to see the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Everything can change into this level, though.
True.
Yeah, if one of them dies in this level, it's like multiple minutes lost.
Mm-hmm.
Rockets. So yeah, that's a thing. It's pyro free.
That's a oh.
Well, unfortunate death for Jamie.
Another thing for Rocket Storage is thanks to the help of community members, Rocket Storage is actually down to fundamentals and down to an actual counter now instead of just being a roll of the dice. So even with the Rocket Storage meme, it's actually I would still not completely like gone, but it's definitely a lot easier than when it was first found, for sure. I guess.
Well, too bad level storage is still not figured out for any percent.
True.
I trust me, I tried 2 years ago a lot to try to find some logic to it, but then PC came out and by seemingly logic from console went out of the window and I like just gave up on it. Cookie with the same mistake as Jamie in the bonus.
Oh my god.
Truly equal race.
They're just throwing to make each other do the exact same thing.
They are on the VC right now, so maybe they're trading discussion about that, just wanting to keep it as close as possible.
Yeah, I tried looking into level search. I thought I had something. On PC it didn't really work out though, so like I just stopped trying figuring out, which is unfortunate. One day though, maybe. I don't know. Not my problem anymore.
Maybe one day you'll blow the dust off of Spyro 3. Sit down with it one more time.
I'll look at my Steam library and be like, ah yes, SRT, I got that game for free from Activision. Maybe I should try to look into it again.
I guess in regards to into strat finding and route discoveries, how often is NST1 or just NST in general kind of worked on, or I guess how many times people try to like go out and search for new things, or I guess for Crash 1's sake, the run is as said before is kind of linear, pretty straightforward. Are there people who are actively trying to find new things, or is it just kind of set in stone like, yeah, this is what we got?
People like try to figure out stuff like hyper jumps, for example.
Yeah, people work on it pretty actively if something's like found that could be interesting. Like Depp is really good at doing stuff like that. And then Crash 2, there's really nothing ever happening that's worth looking into in that. Like it's very rarely. It doesn't have that. I can't remember much of like looking into stuff like that. It's more like minor hob slide optimizations and where to hob slide. Stuff like that. Like that's looked into, like minor cycle improvement, stuff like that. Crash 3 doesn't work. So there's tons of things we still haven't unearthed in that game, which is being worked on all the time.
With
Right.
Crash 3, it's usually like if someone does something by accident, I see it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work on it for like 5 hours or something.
Yeah, Crody's found like half of what we do in Crash 3, so
Not really found, but like if someone does something by accident, then I look into it. Like
yeah,
Jamie actually got the out of bounds in underwater level first, and I'm like, oh, interesting. He
And
got
now
it by
we-
accident, and I was like, okay, let's work something out.
now it saves like 30 seconds over the entire run or something, which is huge in that run. So
Over 30, I would say, even.
yeah, 30 plus, like almost 40, I would say maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, it saves a lot of time because you can just go. It's a 2D level, so like you can just go around. Yeah, I also on the there's a lot of bouncing jet ski levels, and I also tried to work on that, but it's still very much not viable. Like I only got back in bounce once, and it's because I kept giving myself masks.
So yeah, Crash gets a lot of love. Crash 2 just doesn't seem to get much, like it's not that it doesn't get love, because it does get love, it just doesn't seem to have anything found that's like, oh, well, this is something we have to look into because this can be used. Like everything, something's found in Crash 2, it's kind of just like, oh, that's cool, and then, but it's not useful for anything. Crash 4 is the same way as Crash 3. I feel like something gets found mostly by Roscat, right? And then, like, most of the time I feel like he found something and then it gets optimized further from there, like some, like, tons of insane stuff going on in Crash 4.
I think my favorite thing with speedrunning is finding game-changing strats just on accident. That's probably my favorite pastime. Just seeing a random Twitter clip of just someone like saying like maybe like how stupid the game is, and you just like treasure. Just
One
like,
of the interesting finds we have in Crash 3 actually is the fact that you don't need 31 gold relics for the full completion, only 30. Because someone got 108 by accident while having 1 sapphire relic still. So you're like, oh, so we can one cycle one of the levels basically.
Oh yeah, that, because apparently, like, so the thing is, in Crash 1, when they introduced the DLC level, you don't actually need the relic for max completion. Like, it doesn't, it just, they forgot to register the relic as needed. You don't need it at all. Like, you still get 105% without doing Stormy relic. And then
we initially required the relic because it was like the first month of the gaming release, so we were like, okay, there is a chance that they'll fix it, so like let's just make it mandatory. And it stayed like that until we found the Crash 3 thing.
Yeah, and in Crash 3 they did set in the requirement for the relic with the DLC level, so like they did fix their mistake with Stormy, just not on Stormy. They did it on future tense. But somehow they forgot to put in the requirement of having a gold relic. So you just need a relic. It doesn't matter which relic, you just need a relic and it still fills it. So that means you can get 1 sapphire on purpose, which conveniently lets you 1 cycle bug light, which saves a ton of time. So that was found on accident.
Regarding the run going right now, Cookie died twice in the Monos already, so it'll be a nasty time loss for him there. Unfortunately. I think Jamie will be a little ahead now of Cookie because of that.
But didn't Jamie mess up in a level earlier?
Maybe.
Did Cookie run out of gamer juice?
But yeah, we have some like small changes. Like someone random that doesn't even run the game that much. It's like the people that don't really run the games are like new players are like most likely to find something by accident, because the runners that play the games a lot already do always the same thing, so like it's less likely for them to do something on accident. So yeah, well, thank you, you players, for finding stuff. I love it.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. BRB.
Alright. There is a beautiful cycle with speedrunning where it's new runners join, they find things, the route gets improved, the good runners keep getting better, and the run looks more appealing, and then a loose background to it attracting new runners.
Yeah, it's like new players find something by accident, and the good runners just mess with it and try to find something useful with it. Usually, like, and it also works in general. Someone can be like, "Yo, look at this invisible wall there. Haha, that's funny." And then someone is like, "This is how you can use this wall to go faster." I think that's a very nice thing in speedrunning.
Yeah. How I guess in the case you mentioned earlier with Spyro 3, how many instances of like just new runners stumbling upon something and just thinking like whatever of it, do then maybe you, McCrody, or other runners see that and it's like, oh, and now it's like a staple strat?
Well, not really Spyro 3, because I focus on Spyro 2 mostly.
Oh, I said Spyro, I meant Crash. Sorry, I keep saying Spyro. Oh my god. Oh no. But with Crash, sorry, with Crash.
With Crash 3, like, as I said, like, Jamie got the out of bounds by accidentally underwater level, so I looked into that later. I'm like, okay, this is what you can do here, this is what you can do there. When the Sapphire thing was fine, I started messing with the 4-5 levels mostly, just to see where you can use the Sapphire relic. There's also some other stuff. There's also some stuff I found randomly, like I was messing with the no invisible walls run, where it removes the invisible walls. And I was messing one day with Poddy in it, and I'm like, in Sphinxinator, I was trying to get to the bonus from the like, not using the platform, but just outside it. And that's how we found Sphinxinator out of bounds, because Poddy asked me to like try going up, and I just jumped on it, and there suddenly was like, oh, I can walk there. And then I tried it in the unmodded game, and it's like, oh, I can still walk there. You can just go on the roof in this level. I'm like, oh, that's something now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I usually like when someone finds something in the, I know, the NST games, mostly Crash 3, and I like try to go into it and look into it.
Mm.
There's still some like mysteries left though, like Cobra Warp.
Right.
We don't even know if it works on PC.
Mm. There's always going to be those tricks that are the potential of tricks that kind of elude the community until someone fires that initial step. I guess
there's also in Crash 2 you can technically skip Tiny Fight. I did it once or twice on PC on 30 FPS. That makes the game the fight like a little like 30 seconds faster probably. That's like inconsistent, so like someone should have looked into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that guy's skill on it. The viewers at home, off your pop, new runners start. I guess for Crash 1, what was the I guess most recent find? Was there a find that kind of shed a new light on the run, or has it just been the same kind of idea just worked on over time?
There wasn't big finds, but like the more of hyper jumps are implemented into the game. Because usually we only would see hyper jump in Slippery Climb and Kong, but lately, like for some time now, they also implement them into the let's see, in any present into Sunset Vista as well. And for time trials, it was implanted into Sunset Vista, Castle Machinery, and Stormy Ascent.
That's cool. I know it's always cool when something is found and it kind of changes the run as a whole. There's always a fun time, just like a new perspective on how to run the game. Obviously for Crash 1, that's going to be a really difficult because of how linear it is. But it's nice.
Like, the only way something like that would happen is like a movement tech. Like it's usually like either a movement tech or like a big routing change. But in Crash 1, it's just not really possible.
In Crash 1, there's just small changes all the way.
Yeah.
A whole category was found on accident. Oh wait, which one?
No. We already knew about that. If you mean secret ending. We always knew of secret ending, but we just like kept it as old gems and then decided to eventually split it. But it was always well known.
Yeah, no one really run a file fusion. Oh yeah.
Oh, file fusion. Yeah, that was found on accident.
Cody still hates himself for finding that. And the only person that really runs it is me. Oh well.
Oh.
Unfortunate death for Jamie. There's a long death here.
I think we can take a time check once Jamie leaves his level. You can see. I think obviously that was, again, I'm not the minor mistake guy, but I don't think Cookie has had any kind of big slip ups since we last checked.
Yeah, I'm the only one who does file fusion, so there'll be never showcase on this channel of it.
Well,
it's not only me.
I actually have an idea for the channel that may make that a possibility. Don't you worry. Hell will be re-released.
To be fair, the channel is called Splash HD. Not Splash HD Racing.
Oh, yeah.
The Twitch channel, I mean.
Yep. There's definitely to expand the channel. We're definitely gonna have some. I have an idea for more categories that would hopefully show some.
I definitely think file fusion is cool, but I get why people don't play it. It's because the setup is annoying. I'm pretty sure if we had like a script for it to make it consistent all the time, then we just allow it so that people can try it actually. Like any present, not really, because any present is like 15 minutes long. The full trilogy file fusion actually. You just fight all the bosses, all the final bosses quickly. 315 routing is interesting though.
Yeah, I don't know. The HD games are wild.
58-15. File fusion saves like 1.5 hours about that, I would say, so it's insane.
Jeez, that's nuts.
For over normal 315. Mostly because you don't have to do relics in Crash 1 and 2, and no revisits in Crash 1. Those are the main differences. I'm keeping my eye on the timer. Jamie left the farm link on 58:15. Cookie will be leaving at the similar time, this seems.
Ooh.
Okay, 2 seconds difference.
Still...
Yeah, 58:15 and 58:13. So there's 2 seconds ahead of them, or between them, with Cookie in the lead.
Damn. That's crazy because I guess Jamie has just better play overall but he's had the major mistakes, whereas Cookie hasn't had really too many major mistakes, but it's been a bit sloppy here and there.
One of the Cookie's mistakes was he died twice in Dress of Darkness bonus, so it lost him a little bit of time there as well.
I definitely think this race is really interesting because as we just described, Rayman seems to be a smoother runner, I guess, through the levels while having some big mistakes, whereas Cookie isn't having as many big mistakes as Jamie, but his play isn't as clean as Jamie's. So it's nice to see where the time saves kind of mix and match with all that.
Yeah, definitely. Cookie managed to get back into it though, comparing to the first race, that is.
Yeah, Cookie's first race, you could probably guess that he was not very happy with himself, even though he was rusty. I feel like he was a bit disappointed, but he's definitely made up for it in this race. Being so neck and neck for a whole hour is impressive against someone who has been de-rusting and PB'd recently in Jamie. So.
I think both of them is on pretty good pace.
If they continue to this kind of pace, what like if you estimate what their final time could be?
I missed a bit of the beginning, but I don't think there's been too many mistakes. I'm estimating like a high 116, like a 116 or something right now. I think maybe like a 117.
Ooh.
117, I feel.
Yeah.
If both runners got a 117, that'd be extremely impressive. It'd be a straight improvement to the first race.
Definitely,
really
that would be really impressive. Was Cookie's time leaving? Did you see that?
No.
No.
It was like mid 10030, something like that, I think so.
Yeah, I think he's more ahead now. I think he saved some time in the last level.
Cookie was already ahead out of Family Cooper.
Yeah, with a few seconds.
I just keep the eye on Zane's time here. (102:37). Yes.
I guess I could ask, at what point does the run stop becoming progression and switch to cleanup? In terms of like deep into the run, is it like the 40 or 50-minute mark?
Yeah, around that. But there are like fumbling and whole hog, which like those levels are progression still, right? Like you still do a few of them through the redoing around.
Okay, Cookie is 7 seconds ahead. Hello, Lexi. That's me indeed. This is a very close race right now.
Yeah, it's been close for the entire race as well, which is extremely enjoyable. Obviously, the RTA difference doesn't do it any justice, but I give a lot of respect to the runners because they have
Jamie
done a good
has
show.
insane loads.
Yeah, definitely.
One of
really?
the fastest loads in the community.
Oh. The RTA difference being about minute 10. I guess the deaths too in the I think I might have missed it, but I think Jamie had a miss entry into a level a little earlier in his cleanup. That may be me just
Not
seeing it
sure.
wrong.
PFTC is insane though.
Yeah.
Is 1 second.
It's going. Let me see.
Have to grab something to drink.
Yeah, I would say this is currently, as it stands, because both of them got great gate skip, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm pretty
because
sure.
I wasn't here for that.
Right.
So if both of them got that, then they're both on very high 116 pace right now, I think.
Ooh.
So if they don't lose like 10 or more seconds, it might be a thing.
That'd be really, really good for the runner. Especially, I think if it continues at this kind of level throughout, I think this may be the closest race we've ever had in the event. I don't know if we've had one closer than this. This is extremely enjoyable.
When like crash to any person like close during the relay race.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Crash 2? Oh yeah, that was pretty close.
Oh yeah.
I need to recheck though.
So yeah, Cody, I checked their pace, and it looks to be a high 116 pace on both of them.
Yeah, the difference in Crash 2 was 10 seconds
Oh wow.
from their final times.
Wasn't that Crash 2 race though? It was it fluctuated quite a lot in the run. I believe. I believe the leads were very drastic.
Oh yeah,
and then there was switching.
Gaffy started very far behind, and then it went like up and down, up and down. I remember that.
This race is probably the closest in terms of like just a straight line in
Yeah,
skill
yeah.
I think I've ever seen. That Spyro 2 race. I keep doing it.
Crash.
That Crash 2 race was definitely a treat to watch as well. I apologize to all Crash runners out there.
The apology is not accepted.
Oh,
Sorry.
no. And be banished from the Crash community.
Oh yeah, true. You're out. You're out.
Oh, man,
we already decided. It's over.
No, it's over for me.
If you ever think about running Crash, it's all over, dude.
We get the boot before I even get in the door.
Yeah, exactly. Just gonna, if you ever join that Discord, I'm just gonna give the boot. Oh, Jamie, that mask.
Oh wow.
That is not a mask you want to get.
This is a kind of mistake I would do in this game, honestly. I know, because I did that mistake like 2 times at least.
That was I was surprised at like the gravity just yanks you all the way to the ground, which is
That grab always reminds me of like when you get triple mask and you start falling. It reminds me of Murkas dying to a triple mask.
That clip is funny. I love that clip. Wait. Oh yeah.
Sometimes just grab the third mask and you start saying and you're like, oh. Okay.
Here, watch that if you want to see something funny to the with
Ooh.
that. That was the original original of that happening.
Yeah, for some reason, they decided that if you get a mask in air, it shouldn't like just give it to you. It should just be like, okay, you have good animation now. In OG, I'm pretty sure that when you're above the hole, it's just like.
Oh, I think...
I'm not sure if it gives you immediately, but in case of some games, I think you at least like don't start falling and you just keep being in air at least.
Mhm.
I'm not sure though. Yeah, it's just a weird thing to like ignore.
We have another time check on this level. I think Jamie had a 109.06.
109.11 entering upstream at least. So
109.07. 109.07.
07, alright. I guess we can find out. That should put Moss full. I don't know how much time Moss that would be, but it didn't happen at Cookie, so I can assume his lead has been extended by a fair amount.
It's
Probably
some
like
few
a
seconds.
6 seconds.
Yeah.
6-ish seconds.
Ooh.
Yeah, you fall and then have to go away. And... But he's finishing up now. Still seems to be only 6 actually now.
Ooh.
He might have failed somewhere else and he didn't notice that.
Maybe, maybe, yeah. That's interesting then. Ooh. I'm really curious on what Cookie's thinking right now, because they are in a VC, so I can assume that they're talking about their paces right now. If Cookie spent maybe a couple days just kind of refining his all gems run, maybe we would have seen this twice. You know, maybe Cookie might be thinking about that.
Potentially, also, like, I think most runners would think about that, but it's also Cookie, and he's like a very happy-go-lucky, always thinking forward kind of guy.
True.
Like, I've never met anyone with as good of a mentality towards, like, in general, being like the nicest person around. So I think Cookie, from what I know, Cookie, I think he just like completely left that run behind the moment it happened, and then moved on to going towards it, because like, I've honestly just never met a kinder person, like, in terms of that. He's always so happy and so always like forward looking.
Oh, we love those kind of runners. We cherish those.
Yeah, so I think he's just like, oh yeah, this run is pretty good. Like, I'm pretty happy about that. Like, that's how I feel. Like, he's just doing it.
I mean, in regards to his regimen, he's been doing all clear gems. So a 123 is not a bad time for the work he's put in. So I'm curious to see how they react once we're gonna bring him in the VC after the race is done and kind of get their 2 cents on how they did. And I assume Cookie's gonna be all happy.
I do still believe they're both on 116 pace.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay. 112.31 is Jamie's leaving jungle rollers with.
Yeah, so he's on very like 116 5x pace right now, which is within a minute of his PB.
Yeah,
if he gets it.
That'd
so
be
that's
really impressive.
Jamie is really just playing super consistently.
And you also have to give some credit to Cookie as well, you know, obviously not derusting too much, but on his second race back, being able to keep up with Jamie. But
exactly,
as long
like,
as he has, you know.
Cookie definitely has the same skill, if not even higher, you know, like being the world record holder and all that, but he does, the thing with it is Jamie has more experience both in like marathon / race settings and in terms of like hours into the game. Like Jamie is the more experienced runners, and often that can prove itself to be more advantageous
Yeah.
compared to just having the best time, you know.
Right.
The best time doesn't always mean winning a race, or what, Crody, since you crushed me in the relay race. And I had about a minute better PB than you back then. Now it's only a few seconds separating us, but...
Yeah, because I'm cheating.
Ah, true.
Caught live, we got that.
I mean, we've started doing that in runs now, both of us, so... that, it's an interesting skip.
He's 3 seconds ahead, leaving jungler rollers, by the way.
Oh no, Jamie!
Oh.
That is the 116 pace dead.
That's traumatizing, this.
That's heartbreaking. Is Cookie still in contention for that, or is that the 116 just off the table for both runners?
Cookie is
still on pace. He only entered the level, so he's still there.
Getting a 116 in a race would be insane.
Mm-hmm. He got a refill of his gamer juice. So yeah, that small upset, but he's back now.
Again, this cycle bug there. Very nice.
Cookie is really zooming.
He really is.
So, for reference, though, I think Cookie is a very, very strong Stormy player, like Stormy Ascent, because he did that meme, like, sub-goal or whatever he had, where he would do 100 Stormy Ascents, like, full completion in a row. So he did sit and do this level for, like, 5 hours.
In one sitting?
Yes.
Oh my god.
100 times this level.
He did what we did now just 100 times, like as a speedrun, like what we're seeing right now. So he really is, like, super good at this level, which is why you see some advanced strats from him compared to like what Jamie would do.
That's probably one of the best sub goals I've ever heard. I love that.
It's horrible. It's horrible and great at the same time.
We look back and smile, but I can imagine Cookie in that 5 hours must have been wishing it was over every second.
Yeah, I mean, my brain would be mush by that. Jesus.
Okay, Brain, you will be finishing up the run now. Unfortunately, the death was a lot.
Still looks like a race PB though. Like this will be slightly better than Jamie's last PB or last race.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still improved in the second race.
Oh yeah.
1:17:22. Still a really good time.
Jeez, GG.
So then it is looking like a 1:16 on Cookie. From what I can see. Unless he dies in Great Hall, which isn't unheard of.
He died in the previous round in Great Hall,
Yeah,
so you know.
he died in that level in the last one right at the start, so... I don't think we've ever been so nervous on Great Hall before. Jesus.
He didn't even corner cut here. Just click that safely.
Alright, GG, wow.
Yeah, this was a very good race here.
Man, oh man, what a insane race there, jeez. Close to the second last level, which is, I think this is probably the closest race we've had in terms of just progressive competition. There was never a segment where one was more than like 20 ahead right until the very end.
Wasn't it for the Jamie's death in Stormy in the middle of the level? That it would be like few second difference.
Mm-hmm.
So 1:16:43 was that's a really good time to get. So yeah, they had one win each if you think about it that way, but for combining times, it's definitely Jamie that takes the win.
Yep, although Cookie had Jamie in that race by about 40 seconds, the combined time says that Jamie still beat Cookie by about 4 minutes. So that's...
Unfortunate first race for Cookie.
Yeah. It would have been a whole different story if Cookie maybe had an extra day of practice, but he still played out of his mind for race 2. And even race 1, again, I don't know much about Crash, but a 1:23 still seems like a decent time when you haven't touched the game in a while.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like, it's a good, this was a good showcase. Like, this was a really good race between them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the second one was really good.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we are going to bring the runners into the VC and see what they thought of the race. Just bring them in it.
It's them.
Hello.
The runners.
Whoa.
The runners. Alright, well,
Yeah.
guys, GG's on the run. A great showcase from the
GG's.
both of you.
DY. That second race was really good.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Really
a
was.
shame I got that edge on the platform, but that
Right.
cost me probably like 30 or 40 seconds too.
Mm-hmm.
After jungle rollers, the difference between you two was 2 seconds.
2 seconds? Oh,
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was...
I shouldn't have gone for that jump when I had that box not break at the bottom. That was a bad mistake of mine.
I do, from what I could understand with times, you would have needed like 6-second gold on Stormy to beat Cookie though. On that entering. It was still like 6 seconds difference between you, so unless Cookie fucked up, I do think it would have been
Yeah.
the same result. But it would have been you were on 1:16 pace entering, at least.
I was definitely 1:16 pace as well there.
Yeah.
I mean, we also have Great Hall. Can't forget about that.
That's our
Yeah, true.
best race we've ever had anyway, in terms of our final times.
Yeah, the both of you did extremely well in that second race. I think Merc has mentioned race PBs for the both of you guys, and I think that is probably the closest race we've ever had on the channel. In
Yeah,
terms
I think
of,
I was
like,
on PB
consistent-
pace after that because I could tell by my split.
Ooh.
But then fumbling went wrong, so.
Right.
But I had a lot of fun today. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun, honestly. This is one of my more favorite events, honestly. The runners and commentators did a beautiful job today, so kudos to those guys making this
I
a
look
real
forward to
treat.
watching it all back. See your perspective.
Crash 1 is not the easiest to commentate 2 runs in a row, though, I gotta say. Like,
By the way, shout outs for my brain fart on Native Fortress and going for the triple mask. I laughed at myself so hard. Like, why did I go for this?
We laughed pretty hard at that too. That was funny. I was like, "Oh no, Jamie!"
It's just a brain fart moment. We all do it. We all do silly things. That's speedrunning, right?
Yeah, it added to the comedic of the
Yeah.
run. It was good.
I can't wait to see the funny moments, especially my NSP. I don't know what I was doing today with NSP. I missed the boxes like both runs.
It's heartbreaking for Cookie too. He had that one level. I forget the name of it. Sorry.
Temple
but-
ruins. Oh, I
yeah.
felt bad for him and that. I tried to help Cookie out, like motivate him a bit, but it didn't really work.
Do you know what box it was?
Yeah, I do. Like the first instance was the TNT because I broke the checkpoint and then I died after the TNT respawn.
Oh yeah.
And the second one was a high up one after.
The bouncy crate.
Yeah.
It was a high up one because I thought with triple I didn't need to jump for that box.
Well, I think
Oh,
even
go
with those maybe things that you guys might dislike when you think back on, I think both races were enjoyable to watch. The second race too was like I said, one of the
second
best.
was really insane. We were talking about our splits all the time, but it was hard as the loads got further and further apart. It got hard to
Yeah.
remember our splits.
It was pretty fun. You had all of us just like taking times on every split, trying to like calculate where you guys were. Because
I was
the
watching that in
difference.
the chat box actually. I do have the chat box open.
It's like, oh, 2 seconds. Oh, 3 seconds. Oh, 6 seconds. No, now Jamie did a huge mistake. Oh, Cookie did a huge mistake. Cause like,
Isn't that how a race should be though?
Yeah, honestly, it was definitely there was no time in that second race where the lead was, I think, any more than 20 seconds up until the very end. It was honestly insane. All right, well, thank you guys for participating in the event, both the runners and the commentators. We'll go top down, just maybe shouting yourself out, saying some things. We'll start with Cookie if you want to say something.
Yeah, I had tons of fun today, even though the first race wasn't what I thought it would be. I really wanted to get at least a sub 118, which I did in the second race. So yeah, I'm pretty glad overall how it went.
that's how it goes when you practice all clear gems instead of all gems. It's not the same thing, Cookie. There's a difference between them. They're all gems, but they're different.
I guess we were discussing it before the end of the second race, but I actually have a question for you, Cookie, if you don't mind.
Yes.
Do you feel like you could have maybe snagged a 117 or a 118 with an extra day of practice, or are you content with how much time you put into all gems before this event?
I think I'm pretty content. In the first race, I don't know if I would have snagged it because with the first instance of Temple, I just forgot because this doesn't happen in Crash 4. Because if you bounce on a TNT, and you break a checkpoint and die, it just respawns, and I forgot about that.
Yeah, I said about it afterwards, didn't I?
Probably yes, because of course that mistake was also carried by the fact that I didn't enter Temple Ruins with triple, which would definitely avoid that. So probably it could have done a little bit better work if I had an extra day to practice.
That's fair enough, Cookie. Even with all that, with maybe not that much practice, you still pulling out a 116 in a race setting.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Crash, but hearing Merkaz's and McCrody's
Very
reaction
good time.
to it, yeah.
I've had it maybe about 4 or 5 times ever.
So in a race setting, Cookie, honestly, that's an achievement for sure.
Insane for a race.
Yeah.
I mean, we both could have had it today.
Yeah.
McCrody, do you want to shout out or maybe say some words?
Commentating Crush 1 is hard.
True.
Very true. It gives me a lot more respect for you to Merkaz and McCrody. Obviously, there was already a lot of respect there, but to obviously continuing to commentate a run that's like pretty linear, like Crash One. I think it's hard.
We started making up stuff, so we got this.
It was really impressive, honestly. So thank you for that. And Merkaz, any words, shoutouts?
Yeah, this was fun. I've commentated tons of Crash races before, and it's always like Crash One is always like a nail biter. I feel like, especially with Jamie. I feel like that man can't get worse than a 119, even if he tries. So you know, it's always insane to watch. And Cookie, I respect you for de-rusting while doing a marathon. No, it's great. Cookie's a great guy, and this was really fun. This will not be the last you see of me on this channel. I'll probably be up a lot more. I'll see you guys soon.
And then Raymandicoot or Jamie, do you have any shout out, any words before we close up today?
Well, I'd like to shout out the entire community because I wouldn't be here without everyone's input on the game. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. I've done a lot of things from multiple people when working up to this level in this game. So I thank everyone, really.
That's a beautiful message there. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
And people even helped me get more into Crash 2 and Crash 3, which is my weaker games of the NST, but I've actually found more fun doing those in more recent times too. Mm-hmm. Such as hob sliding and things like that, gate clips, things I thought I could never do, but I got taught one night by a bunch of people, and now I've actually found enjoyment out of that too. So yeah, everyone, thank you.
Oh,
that was awesome.
That was awesome. That was a great way to end the event. Thank you so much for that.
So, my pleasure.
All right, we'll be moving the runners over, and I'll be closing out the event for tonight. But yeah, Jesus, where do I start with today? Today, probably the most enjoyable event I've had the honor of participating in. Really enjoyed today, honestly. The commentary was amazing. The runners put on an insane performance. Jamie ending it with that wholesome speech too. I can't top it, so I'm not going to try. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you guys could put in the chat anyone we could bring a raid to, anyone doing Crash speedruns maybe, or Spyro, or any kind of Crash related content, that'd be nice. But yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Honestly, it's been really fun hanging out. Again, probably one of my favorite events today, and the second race too. Obviously, outstanding to watch. So a lot of respect to the runners and commentators. If you're here and you don't know who the runners or commentators are, honestly, like go follow them everywhere. Like they're hard working. Obviously, they put on a hell of a show today. So you gotta give them a lot of love for that. And thank you guys in the chat as well. I'm really honored to be able to run this event, and just to be able to just see people in NST, a game that I don't know, just completely just destroy the game. And like any category we bring up for the event is just a joy to watch. And I gotta thank you guys in the chat too, keeping the chat entertaining and everything. Commentators, runners, it's all been beautiful. So thank you guys as well. I'm really honored I can do this, honestly.